Congratulations, Random. You are indeed first. Colin Noir made a video about New York governor's new bill about banning 3D printed guns. She wasn't she talking about banning 3D printers, not just 3D printed guns?
Tonight,
this is like just retarded boomer horseshit, and they're like 99.9% of a politician's job is doing absolutely nothing. So they sit in their office watching YouTube videos and shit. The only thing they ever really end up doing that's significant anyway in office is either passing some new spending regulations, budget cuts, stuff like that, or pass like some new law or bill. And again, like, what are you going to do, right? So the obvious thing is, oh, ban guns, make things safer for everybody. Like, you know, something stupid like that, even though everyone knows it doesn't do anything, but yeah, it's just all a joke. I saw this. She wants to, like, flat out ban 3D printers.
Some new steps to combat the dangers of 3D printed guns. Governor Hochul unveiling proposals, including legislation making
everything but lock criminals in jail. Exhaust every other option but lock criminals in jail.
It a crime for a person to intentionally sell or possess digital 3D firearm instructions without a license.
So apparently the solution to gun violence in New York is to put gun blocking software on 3D.
Okay, so first of all, this is literally impossible. Anybody can get a 3D printer with software that doesn't have that on it. And what is this going to do? Criminals are still going to make guns. Like, it's just a weird thing to say. Let's make it illegal to have a 3D printed gun. Oh, wait, she even said 3D printed, information on how to make a 3D printed gun. I don't think there's anything aside from, like, maybe, you know, top secret national security data where they ban knowledge of something. You can find plans online on how to make a firearm using like either hand tools or milling machines. None of that's illegal. And in fact, like, you need that if anybody's going to be a gunsmith. Like, this is just, it's bizarre to fucking say something like this.
Printers. No, that's not a joke. That's not satire. That's not a Babylon Bee headline. That's New York's governor on camera saying this.
Yeah, and of course it's a woman. Only a woman or a gay retard would come up with an idea like this. Like a dude who literally sucks dick.
I'm proposing the first in the nation law requiring all 3D printers sold in the state of New York to include software that blocks the printer from creating a gun. It's just common sense.
Sure. So the 3D printer manufacturer will sell their stupid 3D printer without software, and then they'll just tell you to download it, and then there you go. You can make your 3D printed gun. They just have to sell it without the software. Like like boomer. Just dumb woman who's a fucking boomer. Do you think this fucking dumb bitch ever changed a fucking car tire? Like, she might have used a vacuum once in her life. Maybe she did the dishes and made a sandwich a few times. Does this sound like somebody who has even the least, smallest amount of fucking technical skills? This bitch has never changed a car tire. She's never fucking adjusted the timing on an engine. Never replaced a lifter or a push rod. Like nothing. She's never even made like Warhammer 40K miniatures. And then this dumb old fucking wrinkly bitch whose extent of technical knowledge is cleaning out a fucking vacuum and dumping the dust and horse shit inside a fucking trash can is making some sort of fucking law on 3D printers. Like, this is what you get when women, become governor or become president or some fucking horseshit like this. You get this dumb fucking feminized, retarded, old bitch horseshit.
Sense. Just common sense.
Ah, yes, common sense. Because nothing says not authoritarian like the government deciding what machines you're allowed to use and what ideas those machines are allowed to express. This came from Kathy Hochul, who now wants to mandate software that decides what's acceptable for you to manufacture.
Other proposed legislation includes reporting 3D printed guns to the Criminal Gun Clearinghouse database and creating a first-in-the-nation policy establishing safety standards for 3D printer manufacturers.
And here's the part they're counting on you not knowing. A 3D printer does not know what it's printing. It doesn't know if it's a gun. It doesn't know if it's a wrench. It doesn't know if it's a toy, a bracket, or a piece of model train equipment. It prints measurements. That's it.
Yeah, like this idea is just, again, a dumb bitch boomer woman whose extent of technical skills is dumping out a fucking vacuum cleaner.
So when Hochul says block guns, what she's really saying is block tubes, block rectangles, block springs, block screws, block shapes, which means the only way this works is if you cripple the printer so badly it's barely useful at all. And that's not public safety. That's technological.
I mean, you don't need to tell us what is your favorite Warhammer faction and why. Thank you. Space Marines. It's just a really fucking cool ass idea. Yeah, like these super soldiers that are made from somewhat ordinary people that are genetically fucking enhanced and are like fearless, ridiculously super strong. Yeah, like it's just badass. Thanks for the donation though, Gummy.
Censorship dressed up as
Just common sense.
And this is exactly why I created my state-specific Keep America Tactical Designs. Because from the very beginning, Americans were never told you can only exercise your rights with government permission. In 1776, the musket wasn't regulated by software. It wasn't approved by a bureaucrat. It was owned, carried, and understood as a safeguard against tyranny. Today, politicians want to control not just firearms, but the tools, machines, and ideas behind them. So this isn't just merch. It's a reminder. If you believe freedom doesn't need software.
It makes you wonder why school keeps people so fucking stupid. I wonder it's so nobody figures out how to do anything. Like make a fucking gun.
Update. Check out my state-specific Keep America tactic. Wear all of it. Wear it proudly, casually. They put it into writing. As part of her 2026 State of the State agenda, Governor Kathy Hochul today unveiled proposals to strengthen New York's nation-leading gun laws by cracking down on 3D printed and illegal firearms. They go even further. The new legislation would establish criminal penalties for the manufacture of 3D printed firearms and order minimum safety standards to be established for 3D printer manufacturers to block the production of firearms and firearm components. Same source. Now, here's the part that exposes how unserious this is.
Why even soy out about a totally useless policy? Then obviously they are just virtue signaling that they are doing something. Newsom is going to rape all the Dem candidates in the midterms too.
Gavin Newsom is a massive anti-gun faggot. Like, the bigger issue is that when you have politicians even considering something like this, like if they have that lack of critical thinking skills, that lack of integrity, then like that will bleed into every other aspect of the job. And secondly, it like pisses me off that you have an entire political class, the fucking Democrats, that just as normal people, like just their modus operandi is thinking like this. Gun loud, gun scary, go away, gun. Like, it's sickens me. Thanks for the donation, though, retard.
And we also drew a line in the sand. And I think that's what's required at this moment. And he assesses out weakness like no one else. That's his great strength. That's his gift. But you punch back. You fight fire with fire. You display conviction and strength. It's a different relationship. And so my relationship to this moment is reflected in that. I'm not naive. These guys are going to try to take me down, not just my state. I'm not naive about what I've said this.
He's run California into an absolute shithole. So, like, I mean, if he runs the United States like he runs California, we're done. Like, we're done.
This morning, and how that will be reflected in the official White House account. I'm not naive about the fact that he threatened to prosecute.
Yeah, so Gavin Newsom's idea is let all the criminals out of jail, restrict firearms as much as absolutely possible using a corrupt fucking court system, and tax everybody to fucking oblivion, where everyone will stay poor, they can't move up the income ladder, and you have all the most productive, wealthiest fucking people who make jobs and innovate and shit move out of the fucking country. And then you take all that tax money that you got and literally throw it away. Give it to programs for ending homelessness that are corrupt, run by fucking retards, and ends up doing absolutely nothing. So that's how Gavin Newsom would run the country.
The Fed chief in the United States of America that has subpoena against another sitting governor, Tim Walz, who's literally going after his enemies with the FBI and the DOJ and these power ministries. States made $1 billion.
Yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's still a dipshit. Thanks for the donation, retard.
3D printers don't print guns. They print parts individually, one at a time. So unless Hochul's plan on banning cylinders, flat surfaces, threaded rods, and hollow tubes, this law does nothing. And let's address the fear porn directly. Yes, there are metal 3D printers, industrial ones, six-figure machines used for prototyping, not mass-producing functional firearms. Even then, the materials typically can't withstand sustained chamber pressure. At best,
Well, you can't 3D print an entire firearm. I think when people talk about 3D printed guns, they don't know what they're even talking about when they're thinking of a 3D printed firearm. So like 90% or 95% of the parts might be able to be 3D printed, but things like the barrel, chamber, extractor, like, you know, bolt, like stuff like that has to be metal. And those are either going to be from actual firearms parts like an AR-15 that you drop into a 3D printed firearm, or you make them homemade somehow with either non-firearms parts, or you mill them yourself. Like, these politicians, just fucking clowns.
Fat doesn't lift the weight. Muscles do. Slow cut is the way. You'd maybe stop fainting doing a rep on OHP. LLLLLLLU. Arrah. You. Arrah. 7,777,777 mock meat you're not fit boo hoo.
That's nice. Thanks for the donation, keyboard.
you get something dangerous, unreliable, and often single use, which raises the obvious question: who is this actually stopping? Because it's definitely not criminals. New York already has an assault weapons ban, a magazine capacity ban, concealed carry permit requirements, red flag laws, storage laws, universal background checks, bump stock ban, ghost gun regulations, micro-stamping requirements. And yet, despite all of that, on December 4, 2024, it didn't stop United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson from being shot and killed outside the Hilton Hotel.
Yep. Democrats are very unserious people.
The administration.
Don't trust anybody ever who's advocating for banning firearms. It shows either remarkable stupidity or incompetence or just horrific, unexcusable corruption. And that's what they are. Like, at least with Republicans, if they make the economy go to shit, they let you have guns. So if criminals try to rob you, you can protect yourself. Like, why the fuck are Democrats so insane? I just don't get it. Looks like he has some new shorts here.
We have a lot of very unique and high quality products here on Frankie's Free Range Meat. Most recently, our pure sourdough line. But what's really special, and I guarantee you no one else is doing, is the highest quality organic pizza you will ever try. As with all of the pure sourdough products, our pizza dough.
I think we've already seen that one. Yeah, that looks disgusting.
There's an organized group of individuals that are gang stalking and harassing me and have successfully gotten my social media accounts taken down on several occasions. And because of this extreme, targeted, and slanderous harassment against my personal being and my business, I will be filing several additional.
Oh, wait, we saw the Reddit one.
This organized group of individuals.
Yeah, we
so
saw
it's
the
been
Reddit ones.
2 years and 2 months since I was botched by Dr. Taban. I've had 7 corrective procedures under anesthesia now, 3 full orbital reconstructions, and I spend most of the day lying in bed in pain, over 18 hours. I can't find a doctor that's willing to help me and prescribe the right pain medication, so all I can do is hope that the migraines aren't bad every single day. I'm unable to work a normal job or resume operating my business, and the state is refusing to pay me disability. The corrupt court system has protected this doctor, and I have not been reimbursed. And I continue to get harassed online every time I try to speak out about what this doctor did to me. I still need multiple corrective surgeries to fix the vision and the
Is Anna really this thin-skinned? And feminists say men can't handle being criticized.
I usually don't care about people making.
Oh, yeah, I was going to watch that. Dodo sent me, you sent me this already. I was going to react to that tonight for you. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Symmetries between the eyes, which I cannot afford. If you guys go to botchedbytaban.com, you can see the full story. So it's been 2 years. And
How much do you guys think these tomahawk steaks cost? Maybe go down to Miami and Poppy Steak, you'll be paying $1,000. I just realized why I'm broke, because on our website, this 2-pound tomahawk is $33, and this 3-pound tomahawk is like $45. And I guarantee
That is not a lot of food for that amount of money.
you, anywhere else online, triple the price on steak.
No, that's not true.
Frankie's Liver Detox Smoothie is back, available in slightly larger 3-pound containers. This might be the funniest logo I've ever done, my face on a liver. And if you guys are unfamiliar with this, it is a liver detox smoothie, but it's also kind of like a full meal replacement and a high-calorie drink. It's an organic blend of grains, fruits, collagen, protein, and coconut. So technically,
this is Kool-Aid. I just realized it's literally Kool-Aid. Proprietary blend of organic grains, fruits, collagen, and coconut. He bought a fruit punch drink mix and put it in this fucking thing and called it liver detox smoothie. That's all this is.
It's an organic blend of grains, fruits, collagen, protein, and coconut. So technically nutritionally complete. And this would knock out whatever they're feeding you in liquid in the hospital out of the water. You know, if someone's very, very sick, you know, they're on their...
This would not be nutritionally complete. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? You wouldn't be able to live off eating this.
Death's door, last, you know, crazy stuff, right? And they feed them this corn and soy vegetable oil slop in the hospital. This is something actually nutritious and high quality. If you want to read...
He bought some Kool-Aid drink mix from China and added fucking the lowest quality protein source possible.
Read more about this.
I'm pretty sure it's just like some form of gelatin, like powdered gelatin that he found.
You guys can go to organsupplements.com. Really special product. Nothing like it on the market.
This guy is such a fucking lying scam.
We got our cheese delivery down here at Frankie's Free Range Meat, and these are the imported European A2 grass-fed raw cheeses. We also have a local Amish raw dairy selection, and honestly, you know, I was hoping things would have gone better by now. I know how to make all of these cheeses to some degree myself, and there's a lot of aging involved, and maybe we'll get to that point sometime in the future, or maybe we'll be able to import them ourselves to make them more affordable, but for now, this is what we have to do. And out of all the price increases over these past few years, with food costs going crazy, cheese has probably been the worst. A lot of these cheeses have doubled in price, and I've tried my best to keep the price down as low as possible and basically reduce our profit margins to breaking even. On top of that, we try to get these in every 2 or 3 weeks to keep them as fresh as possible for you guys. So let me show you what came in today. Raw cow's milk raclette, that's a French cheese. We have a Swiss Appenzeller cheese. This is another raw French cheese, Fromage d'Ambert.
Cheese is gross.
The most famous blue cheeses. Very messy, so we're definitely not going to be opening that. This is just Italian Pecorino Romano. This is still in stock.
All right, well, that is cheese.
Ridiculous bad faith attacks against me. It is what it is. I'm busy. I don't want to spend much time defending myself on my own show when I could be sharing the news with you guys. But I really couldn't resist this one.
I had this debate with Anna Kasparian. Obviously, when the 12-day war was going on, I'd said, I'm like, I think you got to give him a chance. I don't think this becomes a forever war. And she adamantly was like, yes, it does. And you're wrong. And I was like, all right, if it turns out not to be, will you eat your words? Yes. Do you think that day has come?
Bitch, are you high? Are you high? Like, where have you been over the last few weeks? A U.S. strike on Iran was imminent last week. Luckily, it didn't happen, and I'll get to why in just a moment. But to argue that this potential regime change war with Iran is over, it really sounds like something an oblivious fitness guru would.
Like, I don't even... Okay, she's just crazy. Keep an Islamic jihadist terrorist organization in power. Have them kill citizens. Yay! I'm so glad the US didn't intervene. Now they could get away with murdering tens of thousands of innocent people and get away with it. Yeah, funny, like, that Jillian Michael is the based one. Holy fuck. Okay, well, thanks, Dodo. Let me take a look at some of this. So,
if by news she means Nazi propaganda, then yes.
Yeah, literally. That's not even an exaggeration. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Yeah, so just a reminder, Dorian Yates is a fucking Nazi. He literally denies the Holocaust, and he's doing an interview with Andrew Huberman, who's a Jew. It's kind of funny how this even came about.
VG, I know you support Israel, but I wondered what your positions are on internal Israeli politics. Like would Netanyahu, certain members of IDF should be sacked for intelligence failures during October 7th and the Netanyahu corruption trials and so on.
Well, look, as far as I know, nobody went to jail for 9/11. So, unless there's something that's far more egregious, then I don't see how anybody would necessarily be criminally liable. Because again, nobody went to jail for 9/11 for like intelligence failures or anything like that. It would have to be like criminal levels of negligence, and I just haven't seen any evidence of that. As far as the corruption trial, I don't know too much about it personally, but just seeing kind of what the guy promotes and some of his political beliefs wouldn't surprise me if he is in fact guilty of corruption. Thanks for the donation though, G.
What are you eating? That looks delicious. Also, is this true?
I am eating rice, chickpea, sweet potato dal, and some Gardein chicken strips. Thanks for the donation, JP. And let me see.
Well, the reason why women claim that they can't find a man is because women are truthfully attracted to degenerate trash. So I know that this is counterintuitive to everything that you believe or that you have believed, but women are actually attracted to degenerate trash. So let's say she meets a guy who, has his shit together, is going somewhere in life, maybe even has a lot of money or real world status and real world success, especially amongst other men in, say, maybe like the corporate world. Sadly, that does absolutely nothing to make her feel anything. This is why you'll notice in, like, let's say high school and college, the dudes who were constantly throwing the parties, the dudes who were constantly doing the most drugs, the dudes who were always partying and never had any, like, life trajectory or purpose, these were the dudes who were banging not only most of the women, but the hottest women. What you have to understand is that it's not like these women just magically grew up and all of a sudden they changed what they're attracted to. No. Life circumstance changes as she ages.
Single mom.
And her long-term security needs tend to kick in. But this is what you have to remember. She is still most attracted to the degenerate trash that she was when she was younger.
Yeah, it's basically true. There's a reason why rappers get laid and I mean, look at them. Thanks for the donation, JP.
No, instead we just shot the person who started 911, and rightfully so.
Yes, took a while, but we did get it done. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Forza Horizon 6 actually looks fucking dope.
The Horizon Festival is a celebration of beautiful cars, hit music, and breathtaking locations around the world. And now we're taking you to the place we've wanted to visit for a very long time, Japan.
We designed a campaign that really focuses on your journey. You don't start as a superstar of the festival or a racing champion or even a rookie. You'll start out as just a tourist in Japan. Your first goal is to join the Horizon Festival by completing the Horizon qualifiers. After that, you'll rise through the ranks, unlocking wristbands.
JP Donatellas, how do you make the chickpea sweet potato dal? I want to try cooking it myself. You go to Walmart and you buy a can of it. Thanks for the donation, JP.
As you complete races in faster, more exciting cars.
Yeah, it's just stuff I got from Walmart.
At the end of each round, you must prove you're ready to move up by completing spectacular events to unlock your next wristband. These include classic Horizon showcases and our new Horizon Rush events, where you show off your skills on thrilling.
The one thing that I don't like about that design they're laying out is before you can even play the game, you have to go through basically what are essentially tutorial missions. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you only really have to do it once, but...
Obstacle courses, like this one at the docks in Tokyo City. When you finally earn your...
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of JDM, so, yeah, this looks actually dope.
your gold wristband, you get access to Legend Island, an exclusive...
I hope they improve the driving physics, make it a little closer to like Forza Motorsport. Even though that game did not have the best physics, like it's still better than the weird arcadey dum-dum shit.
All been waiting for.
And just offer good wheel support. The last one had horrible wheel support. And it's a shame too, because like the game looks so good. There's such a cool car selection. Depressed and repressed. Donate $3. Let me see.
Right now, I want you to be clear. I want you to understand this, okay? You are hated internationally. Hated. The whole international community loathes you.
No, you're just a dumb bitch.
Young American citizens in this country, both left and right, loathe you.
Yeah, because they're dumb bitches too.
And eventually, these are the people who are going to come into power.
Uh-huh, I'm sure. She's such a fucking insane anti-Semite, dude. Thanks for the donation.
BTW, if there really is a hell, I wonder what Osama bin Laden is doing down there outside of just being mercilessly and unspeakably tortured for all eternity.
Maybe trying to have gay sex. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
7 and 8, because those two numbers are considered fortunate in Japan. In fact, these numbers are also part of a well-known Japanese proverb, Nanakorobi Yaoki.
Synopsis of real Japanese skies, photogrammetry of trees and geology, scans of roads and buildings, and things as simple as water kick-up and the way fallen cherry blossoms respond to passing cars. From these references, we then work to capture the soul of those places, adapting it for horizons around them, creating for this game, each with a unique identity. Every corner and every shortcut is fun to drive and a delight to explore.
Is every car in this game going to be right-hand drive? That would be a little annoying.
Seasonal change in Japan is dramatic, and these changes are widely celebrated in local culture. We've captured that in games so that you'll see those changes reflected in the world around.
The 9/11 conspiracy anti-Semites are retards. But the one point they talk about that stumps me is how apparently they found the hijackers' identities through finding their passports in the rubble of the Twin Towers. Wouldn't the passports have burnt up?
Who knows? I don't know.
But I thought he hated gays VG.
Yeah, they say that, but there's a reason why they keep women covered up. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. There's two explanations for that. One, yeah, it happened. Or two, if that wasn't how they got their identities, well, the logical answer to that would be they got it through some means that they don't want foreign nations to know, so that they have some sort of intelligence gathering advantage. It's not like, again, the idea that it was staged or set up is just fucking retarded. Thanks for the donation, though, JP.
Around you as you explore. That sense of exploration is at the heart of the game. Everything you find on your road trip in Japan is something for you to collect. Cars, houses, landmarks, mascots, and more, all tracked in your adventure journal.
Japan's car culture is one of the reasons we've been so excited for this location. And Forza Horizon 6 will feature more from D to our new top-end R-Class for track-focused cars.
It's cool how they added drifting into the game, because like drifting was such a huge thing in Forza Horizon 5. But they didn't really implement it that well.
We've improved how each car is affected by the world. For example, with new cosmetic tire wear, so each car responds authentically as you rack up the mark.
But we need guns to overthrow tyrannical governments. Shit is cope. No one is going to do shit if the military starts taking guns and swinging their dick. If Trump cancelled elections, I bet that Colin Warnigger would concern troll about Antifa riots lol.
That is not remotely true. But, not about Colin Noir, but I mean, the idea that an armed nation can't prevent or fight against some sort of hostile military. That literally happened in Myanmar. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Thanks for that donation, retard.
Could you rate my Trump impressions?
These nasty woke lunatics, they want you to believe that pooping yourself is bad. That, for some reason, I don't know why, but it's probably because they are funded by the pharmaceutical companies that sell drugs like Pepto-Bismol, okay? And then all these companies like Pepto-Bismol want to sell you these drugs to make you go poo-poo, so they make more money. But in all reality, the best way to go poo-poo is go poop in your diaper, and they make it explode.
These are very cringe.
Wanted to inform you that I pooped my diaper. It's very full, very big, very huge.
Yeah, that is something he'd brag about.
I hereby declare that today I am signing an executive order on Diet Coke. Yes, that's right. My favorite soda that everybody, the radical left, hate so much because all these fake doctors and health experts, you see, they say it's bad.
I'll give that 5 out of 10. Thanks for the donation, Ben Boy.
Miles on those iconic Japanese roads. With more cars on day one than ever before, we've also created...
You know who would believe in 9/11 conspiracy theories? VG people like the Young Turks.
Yeah, they would. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
New ways to expand your car collection as you explore. Parked on driveways around the world, you'll encounter our new aftermarket cars. They're always bargains and include some extremely rare and unique cars to show off in your garage. We're not just bringing classic JDM to life, but also showcasing some of the newest, most exciting cars in the world. And Forza Horizon 6 cover car is one of them. The GR GT is a race-derived road car that combines motorsport performance with road-going excellence. And our game is the ideal place to experience the most modern iteration of Kazoo Racing's relentless pursuit of Japanese engineering perfection.
Our cars sound better than ever, with greater detail, and we're curating a diverse track list from around the world, including exciting Japanese artists, so you can choose your perfect soundtrack, whether racing, cruising, or drifting. And to complement the visual contrast of our map, we've captured extensive field recordings across all 4 seasons.
One of these at every player house, big enough for multiple cars, where you can freely decorate the entire space. And when you're done, you can invite, and anything you construct is permanent and visitable by your friends. Options like proximity radar for competitive players and auto drive for players who want to lean back and appreciate the world friends play. You can customize
a copy of the cars you see. Then head out together to explore. Forza fans are incredibly creative. You can imagine together.
They're probably not gonna give 2 shits about wheel sport.
At some point recently, you've probably eaten fast food and thought, wait, this is it? Not that it's more expensive, we already know that, but that it's smaller, or just not as good as it used to be.
Chick-fil-A burrito. Check it out. Little ass burrito. It's almost the size of the salsa.
Look at that. It's 2 knuckles big.
Look at that. I have big hands, but come on, dude. That is tiny. That's like 2 bites.
When did this become a side?
at Panda Express. There's like 6 pieces of chicken in here.
Jail.
When you try to explain that feeling, it may sound like you're being dramatic, or maybe just nostalgic about how things used to be. But then you see posts online where people are putting photos side by side of the same sandwich from the same restaurant for a price that is way more than it used to be. That change is often very small. Sometimes almost invisible, but every time it happens, it chips away at what you thought you were paying for. See, I believe fast food companies are stuck right now. They cannot keep raising prices without people losing their minds. And they definitely don't want another round of headlines about corporate greed. So instead, they're doing the one thing that's hardest to quantify and easiest to deny. They're giving you less. It's known as shrinkflation. Or when they cut back on the quality of something, that's called skimpflation.
How can I help?
We want to make our chocolate bars 15% lighter.
You guys do the triangles, yeah?
Yeah, these ones, yeah.
Just make the gaps between the triangles bigger.
Oh, sick.
Can I do the same? The price of cocoa's gone up heaps.
Of course you can.
Sick.
Who's next?
We need to make our bags of chips lighter.
Our bags of chips already pretty light.
Lighter.
Leave out 5 chips.
Yeah, great.
That was easy. Who's next?
They noticed. Can we swap it back?
Yeah, that happens.
Hi, we want our bottles to hold 100 mils less.
Then redesign the bottle.
Won't everyone notice?
Well, just say you're doing it for environmental and design reasons.
That's so smart. Thanks. Awesome.
Now, I did a video on
That's
this
actually
topic last year,
exactly what
and I
they're doing.
focused more on grocery store items. Those items are definitely easier to track than things like fast food. And it remains rampant in items from paper towels to laundry detergent and just about any food or beverage product today. But in this video, I want to talk about how restaurants have been engaging in this too. And this isn't about one sandwich or even one particular chain. I mean, this is going on everywhere. And I think this is about what happens when fast food runs out of room to move and why this might be their last resort.
We're really talking about a fast food market, generally speaking, that is basically tanking right now.
So why does this?
Apparently, the Impossible Whopper patty has 25 grams of protein. That would have to be a pretty big patty, wouldn't it? That's a fair bit of protein.
Old Aments. Part 1 of Big Lenny's interview with Dave Palumbo. Can we maybe react?
Yeah, sure, why not? It's a classic. Thanks for the donation, nigga. We'll watch that next. I got a double patty Impossible Whopper the other night for $10. That sounds nice. Burgers are very satisfying. But if you want the best French fries, you gotta go to Belgium. Belgian fries are just fucking god tier.
This even happen? Why not just raise prices like normal? Well, when a company raises prices, people notice. They might complain online or switch to different options, or maybe just stop buying the product altogether. They might even make the company a headline in a TikTok rant. And while online noise can get amplified and feel like it's a big deal, many times these companies just go on thriving. Now, don't get it twisted. Companies have and will continue to take price hikes. But the days of companies continuously hiking prices have been put on hold, at least for now, in exchange for this more deceptive tactic. That's because shrinking portions doesn't get the same kind of backlash, not because it isn't extremely unpopular, but because it's hard to calculate exactly what's happening. Even when doing research for a video like this, if a media company does cover shrinkflation, particularly in the restaurant industry, it's often just citing online posts from various social media platforms. It's just not quantified and tracked the same way prices are. This is because ultimately, raising prices is loud and shrinking portions is quiet. The truth is, the human brain doesn't track weight or volume as closely as it tracks price. You'll probably notice a 50-cent price hike immediately, but a few grams less of something, most people just don't have the memory for something like that. And companies know this. In fact, they're counting on it. So every time you grab the same meal that you've been buying maybe for years, there's a little margin disappearing in plain sight. Not enough to ruin the brand, and maybe not even enough to make headlines, but just enough that it continues to pad their bottom line. Now, before I tell you about one of the craziest pieces of evidence regarding fast food shrinkflation strategy, I want to say that if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that we almost never do ad reads. That's because we basically turn everything down. But this one actually matters to me. I think it's very infuriating that data brokers are making billions of dollars selling our personal info. Again, to Aura for sponsoring this video. One of the most insightful pieces of evidence of shrinkflation comes from Chef Mike, a former McDonald's corporate chef. Someone who actually used to help shape the food publicly explained some of these cunning tricks that these chains use to cut portions without anyone noticing. Take cheese for an example. He says they'll literally slice it just a hair thinner so they can get a couple extra slices out of the same block. He says, let's say there's a block of cheese that gets 250 slices. Well, if you slice that block just a tiny little bit thinner, you might get 252 slices of cheese on that same block. He says the changes are so small that they will not even impact ingredient statements and nutritional values by a noticeable amount. But even a small change like the cheese example can add up to millions in dollars in savings for them because they have over 43,000 locations. He also talked about McNuggets, how they sometimes add more filler and let more air into the meat block, so once the nugget cooks, there's more gap and less actual meat inside. He says it'll look normal because it puffs up in the fryer, but the actual edible product is lighter. And if you remember a couple years ago when McDonald's ran a whole promotion around changing their buns, according to the former chef, those changes weren't just about taste, despite McDonald's claiming that they were. Instead, he says they were more about shelf life and waste reduction, which again helps keep costs down, but not in a way that feels like it's a better value for the customer. Now, these are some of the more subtle ways they will do this, but there are, of course, more blatant examples where the sandwich itself just literally appears 25% smaller than it was just a couple years ago. McDonald's was actually accused of doing this with their Filet-O-Fish after countless videos surfaced online, but they denied they ever shrank the serving size.
Smaller.
And this is when trying to track these changes becomes really difficult, because often the company will rarely admit to shrinking unless they're caught red-handed. And even then, they may still try to gaslight us. Chipotle has another great example of this. Last year is when their shrinkflation problem really broke into the open. Videos started circulating online of people filming burrito bowls being made in real time, and then just walking away when the portions looked too small. Now, this occurred after so many online complaints had been claiming Chipotle was shrinking their portion sizes. Now, shortly after this TikTok trend emerged, Chipotle's former CEO gave a very awkward interview, flatly denying that there had ever been a widespread policy to shrink portion sizes.
I can tell you the portions
Give me a
have not
break.
gotten smaller. One of the things I think it's great about Chipotle is if you come into the restaurant and you want a little more rice or you want a little more pico, all you got to do is kind of like, and usually our guys and women, give them a little more scoop.
He instead framed it as a random inconsistency at the store level. But that denial didn't really age well, because not long after, the company told investors during an earnings call that increasing portion sizes in response to customer complaints had slightly impacted their profitability. An analyst from Morgan Stanley actually went out and tracked the difference in weight from Chipotle burrito bowls and confirmed what customers already knew. Their portion sizes were consistently inconsistent. Whether that was a widespread attempt at a corporate level to give customers less, or just employees who didn't know proper serving sizes, it didn't really matter because customers knew they were once again getting the short end of the stick. It's hard to say how much of this problem has actually contributed to Chipotle's recent decline, but it's clear that the brand is still dealing with many issues around its lack of affordability and its slowdown in sales. Now, obviously at the beginning, some of these shrinkflation claims can feel like Reddit conspiracy theories, until you get inside information like the former head chef from McDonald's or the CEO of Chipotle admitting that they do actually have a portion size problem. But obviously, it's not just McDonald's and Chipotle doing stuff for King, and even
hopefully they all just go out of business.
Privately held companies like Five Guys, Chick-fil-A, and Jersey Mike's. Now, Lending Tree did a survey on shrinkflation back in 2024, and it found that many Americans would actually just prefer companies to raise prices rather than shrink items.
And Racemore F doing a standing long jump of 3.2 meters or 10 feet 5 inches. That's 3 inches better than what I show Speed did and about 5 feet more than Mike Israel lol.
Yeah. Oh my god, the fucking music. Yeah, he's very gifted athletically. That's especially crazy for somebody his weight. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
By Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. Studio with us live here. He is the Tom Platz of abs, Big Lenny Person. Welcome, man.
Thanks, Dave. This is an absolute honor. I hate to sound like a cookie cutter, but you got me down from 450 to 290 following your dietary principles, your training, your use of fat burners, and I got me to compete in 2004 at the Southern States.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you used my cookie cutter approach.
Well, it works. It's not.
Retard donated $3. Let me see. Saw the bruising on your hand. You okay, Trump? Very good. I clipped it on the table, so I put a little, what do they call it, cream on it, clipped it. I would say I take aspirin if you like your heart, but don't take aspirin if you don't want to have a little bruising. I take the big aspirin. When you take the big aspirin, they tell you that you bruise. So first of all, Trump is getting the absolute best healthcare in the world. No doctor would tell him that. It's been proven there's no benefit to taking daily aspirin. And bleeding becomes such a huge fucking risk. You're more likely to die from that than some blood clot that randomly ends up forming. And apparently aspirin doesn't even really do much to prevent blood clotting anyway. Or those types of blood clots from forming in your arteries. So that's a lie.
That's a lot of money, but it's nothing compared to the value of peace. Peace is so destructive for everyone, even countries that aren't involved. I mean, it's so destructive for everybody when you have wars.
More Destiny Cope.
He mixed up the words peace and war. Peace is so destructive for everyone.
Can you tell us who your Fed pick is, sir?
Okay, he's not well. Thanks for the donation, retard. Let me see this Destiny Cope. Threat over Greenland after assailing Europe. So, smugly, his epic centrist aura shining. Heh, he didn't actually invade, though, did he? Fucking Cope. He owes me a Bitcoin. We had a bet for a Bitcoin that Trump will not invade Greenland, and what do you know? He said he's not going to invade Greenland. So, suck it, Destiny. He owes me a Bitcoin.
Not cookie cutter.
No,
You're a freak. You're also a non-pro, which pro doesn't mean anything. You know, what did Tom Platz do as a pro? But who's on a first name basis in the community? Guys that last forever, like Arnold said. Jesus, Hitler himself, Dave Palumbo, Tom Platz. Those are household names throughout history.
Notice I was below Hitler on the list. I'd like to try to work my way past Hitler on the list if possible, Lenny.
Well, I'm sure you are. He was a vegetarian, so that puts him down.
Oh, okay, yeah. We don't like those guys. Hey, what do you think about? But first of all, for those of you out there who don't know who Lenny is, Big Lenny, you've become an internet sensation, really. I mean, a social media sensation.
Yes, thanks to Prince Andrew.
We have a live studio audience here, by the way.
There you go.
And Andrew, you're responsible for all his the social media posts because I hear Lenny is computer illiterate. Is that cute? Is that not illiterate, but computer illiterate?
I don't think he's computer illiterate. It's that sometimes I think he's better off not having one in his.
Yeah, he knows how to use a computer when it comes to looking up trans prostitutes online.
Ah, okay.
Well, I'll admit it, I'm a porn addict.
You're a porn addict, you do. What kind of porn do you like to watch?
Well,
I've heard that you're into trannies. Is that true?
it's a love-hate thing. When I saw a few of them, how good they looked, how feminine they were.
Right.
What is wrong with the women of today? They can't look like that. They're lazy. If a man could look like that through technology,
right.
And like I said,
he just likes trannies. I didn't know he tried to cope. And he was like, well, it's not that I really like trannies. That's funny.
If you want to be gay, I don't think anyone's born gay, but if you want to go that route, at least make it palatable for guys like us. You know, and I think actually most guys look at it. That's the biggest secret.
Yeah.
You know, because porn's a progression. It's like carbs. You can use them as motivation, but then again, they can ruin you.
Right.
And I don't have any internet access at my home either. I never did.
Now, if you had internet access, do you think that you would be watching porn all day long? Is that the problem?
A little more than I need to, and it would interfere with your bodybuilding lifestyle and your work.
Now, you're very serious about your bodybuilding, so I have to go back and take a step back first. I know you were a power lifter initially.
Don't say that. That's another word for a fat F.
Okay. Were you? But you are.
I never considered myself that.
You said you were 450.
Yes, I was just trying to get to be the biggest, strongest man ever. And I never like to use it.
Hopefully Trump passes away soon so the demons can come and take his soul to hell where he belongs.
Well, I'm afraid demons don't exist, but he's probably not going to live long anyway. He's in pretty bad health.
I say I'm too late.
My goodness. Oh. Wow. Oh my god, did you guys see that? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Those cookie cutter terms. And particularly that when you look at a guy, you're big, but you must be a powerlifter, meaning you're a fat slob.
Right.
Right?
Okay, so you didn't like that. So did you like the term like Jimmy Pelletier used, power bodybuilder?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what you consider yourself.
Yes. My favorite wrestlers and football players were similar to that as well.
So, and you told me before the show started that Greg Kovacs was a big inspiration for
In
you.
the 90s, yes. His eating, he was similar in height.
Greg
Obviously, he
Kovacs
did the
was
right
so
things
fucking
at
massive.
a young age. Looked phenomenal early on, then his condition seemed to wane. And I'm wondering if I'm following the same route unbeknownst to me with possible insulin resistance.
Well, we could talk about that in a minute, but what do you weigh currently? Well, let me ask you that. I know you're off gear right now, but
Richard is gay fag.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get a little high. Let me take a look. Yeah, Will Tennyson's a lying cocksucker with absolutely no morals.
Bad idea.
I'm putting you in the hospital.
Yeah, nutrient deficiency. Like,
What's your opinions on vegan diets? I'm putting you in the hospital.
yeah, nutrient deficiency. Like, I love that.
This guy looks like a starving crack addict.
Vegans are thinking intentionally about the food they eat. I just think it's extremely hard, potentially impossible, to get everything you need to be an optimal human without eating animal foods.
You say that, but I mog you, you beta male bitch wrinkly faggot.
There are so many nutrients in meat that are not found in plants. And you can take a million supplements, I know a lot of prominent vegans do, and still not get everything that you're missing in meat. Yeah. Meat has
He is so retardedly full of shit.
42,000 components. 42,000 components, yeah. Food is so much more complex than we
Okay, how many components do plants have? What the hell does he mean by components?
believe, and I think it's a folly to believe that we can take the value of a strawberry and put it into a multivitamin. It's so much more complicated. Does your multivitamin have creatine, carnitine, taurine, anserine? I love the intention around it.
Those nutrients you just mentioned are not essential nutrients, and you can supplement them if you want. I hate Paul. You know, I know he has that dumb mansion in Costa Rica. I hope he falls off a ledge. Snaps his fucking neck. What an asshole.
Colostrum is more effective.
And dude, by the way, fuck Will Tennyson. That guy is a lying, degenerate fucking cocksucker. And that ugly fucking chimpanzee-looking idiot married some fucking gross old fucking lady. Hope she steals all his fucking money in the divorce. Fucking dumb bitch.
Than a flu vaccine in preventing the flu. Wild, I know. Why haven't you heard about this? This is legit. 2007 study. For 2 months, researchers compared a flu vaccine to daily consumption of colostrum, and they found that in the colostrum group, people had significantly lower incidence of the flu, and when they got the flu, their episodes were way, way shorter. The conclusion of the author,
Who cares?
I will quote, is that colostrum
They're claiming colostrum is better than the vaccine. And what's funny is it says epidemiological study. Isn't this the same dumb motherfucker who said epidemiology is
I
bullshit?
can't wait for Satan himself to greet Trump in hell once he dies.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. I'd have to read this paper. It probably doesn't really say what he thinks it means. Why is he blocking me?
is it
Colostrum, both in healthy subject and high-risk cardiovascular patients, is at least 3 times more effective than vaccination. Prevent and to prevent?
at least 3
To prevent flu, and is very cost-effective. Yeah, so, one, this isn't a randomized trial. There are probably a variety of confounding variables that they didn't account for. And this is an Italian study? So that could, like, whatever. This guy's an idiot.
3 times more effective than a flu vaccine. That's wild, guys. Colostrum contains bioactive peptides,
Okay, so let's just cherry pick a study.
immunoglobulins, growth factors. All of this can help contribute to passive immunity, which can protect you from the flu. The flu's got nothing on you, guys. Get some.
That's not going to prevent the flu. That's crazy that he can legally say that, by the way. This guy is literally selling a product that he's claiming has medical use and is more effective than an actual medicine. That would have to violate FDA guidelines. Like, what he just did there has to be fucking illegal. He's literally claiming a supplement that he's selling is more effective than a flu shot.
You're telling me I'm clogging my arteries when I'm eating foods like this, when no one said a word. When I was eating foods like this, I was vegan for 6 years. Nobody said anything. When my skin was getting worse, when I was getting sicker, everybody cheered me on. When I was
So you're eating processed garbage and getting fatter, and you're wondering why you feel worse and you have acne. Like, what a dumbass.
I was on a vegan diet. Now that I'm openly sharing my carnivore meals like jiggly bone broth, tomahawk steaks, yogurt, cake, salmon fillets, and raw cheese.
Apparently, she does in fact eat fruits and vegetables behind the scenes.
At ice cream scientist correction, Trump is the Antichrist.
All right, well, thanks for warning us, Dodo. Appreciate the donation.
So many of these retards will be dead by their 50s from heart attacks. Sucks to suck.
Well, it's good for us. The sooner the better. Thanks for the donation, Depressed and Repressed.
The world just loses their mind and thinks all of this is poison and causes disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it does.
The dog eating the bone broth is the best part of this, but this is so true what Bella's talking about here. Red meat, eggs, raw cheese, bone broth. These are the foods that humans have treasured for hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, And humans have also treasured opium and tobacco. So those are good for us, right? We should all be smoking opium and tobacco.
Of years. And yet, when humans eat more of the most sought after foods on the planet, the collective internet loses its mind, but no one loses their mind when people are eating Slurpees, big.
By the way, how long has beer been ubiquitous in human culture, cross-culturally? In fact, it may be the case that the first foods that were, actually like farmed, you know, when people moved from the Paleolithic to Neolithic, the first foods that were actually like deliberately cultivated may have been grains that were made to produce beer. So beer's good for us now, right? Because it's been so treasured in human culture for thousands of years. Like, he's just a fucking retard.
Big Macs, French fries cooked in 4 different seed oils with 19 ingredients. This needs to change. We need to normalize humans eating food for humans, which is in large part the most nutrient-rich foods on the planet, animal foods. There is so much good evidence that
yeah, you say that, but you look like a starving crack addict. All you have to do is eat tofu and take steroids like me. It's very straightforward. If you just eat tofu and take steroids, you're going to look and feel like $1 million. I don't know why people overcomplicate things.
Nutrients found predominantly or exclusively in red meat, like vitamin K2, are consistently
Vitamin K2 is not exclusively found in red meat.
Associated with
it's not even found in red meat.
Lower rates of heart disease, according to things like the Rotterdam study, and there are many examples.
He's literally making shit up at this point. Yeah, so again, this is an epidemiological study, the type of research that he says is garbage. If you look at randomized trials on K2, there's no protective effect. Doesn't have a benefit.
Examples of indigenous people like the Maasai in Africa who eat lots.
Yeah, the Maasai have an average life expectancy of 42 years old, and that's after accounting for childhood mortality. If you don't account for childhood mortality, it drops down to about 39 years old. So if you're a Maasai, you can live to the ripe old age of 42 because of your really, really healthy diet.
Of animal meat, animal fat, and full-fat raw milk, and have vanishingly low rates of cardiovascular disease.
They have low rates of cardiovascular disease because they're dead by 42. Like, no shit. If you have a child, and I, like, stab the child to death, and then we do an autopsy, wow, he has no heart disease, no diabetes, he's in perfectly good health. Must be what you're feeding him. And your kid eats nothing but fruit roll-ups and fruit gushers and pizza pockets. Well, I guess that's good for us. Somebody killed this healthy 9-year-old, and he was eating nothing but fucking fruit gushers and pizza pockets, and look at the health he was in. Like, by the way, Paul knows this. Your mansion in Costa Rica will be your demise. This fucker is going to get drunk or high or disoriented in some way. And this motherfucker is going to fall off one of his balconies and snap his fucking neck.
We need to normalize eating steak, and we need to let people know who are eating junk food that that is what is truly killing them.
What are the Maasai dying from, if not heart disease? Nutritional deficiencies that are primarily caused by parasitic infection.
I've been clean for 3 months. It's been rough, but you know, I've come.
And the parasitic infection themselves is probably reducing their life expectancy too.
Out of it.
You had a little bit of a heart scare.
I did. Abnormal heart rhythms where, I fell over. Luckily, I work at a hospital.
Oh, you did? What do
I
you
work
do?
in food service, so I have access to free food, whether they,
That's
I know how to
good
sneak
for
it.
building muscle, yeah.
Absolutely. So I was 20 feet away from the emergency room entrance, and I fell on the desk in there. And I might have attributed to a few things. They did this procedure where they go through your groin and reset your heart rate through an electrical shock.
Yeah.
They call that
Well, they cast
Weird. I didn't know they go through your groin.
you, right?
exactly a blip. Correct.
Oh, so you had an arrhythmia
Yes.
that they fixed.
And they put me on a slew of meds, diuretics, blood thinners, blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds. And I took it while I was in the hospital, but I was,
It's funny how you brought the subject of early humans up. Fun fact, the Neanderthals who only ate meat only lived for an average of 37 years old.
Well, it's kind of a myth. Neanderthals didn't only eat meat. They were a diverse population that lived across a pretty wide range around Europe. So, a lot of them did only eat meat, but a lot of them also ate pretty much only plants. They found a Neanderthal poop sample, and they found it was like 98% plant matter. But regardless, yeah, they only lived to 37, and I would actually guess that the Neanderthals that didn't live as long ate more meat. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
a month out from the Ruby Classic. And, I said, no matter what.
That's your Olympia, pretty much. You do that every year.
Pretty much, although I may do I don't know if it disbanded it. The Diana Cadu might have been canceled, or Diana herself. Because I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's, she's very sexy. She happens to be a Haitian Canadian.
You like black women, right?
Yes, for the most part, yes, absolutely.
That's what you're attracted to, right? Because I know I've heard you talk about them on your Delray Misfits podcast, by the way.
Yes, and coming to Florida, the island women.
Okay. More of the island women from
Absolutely.
Haiti, Bahamas,
Yes.
stuff like that.
From there. And then once they come here, and of course, once they go on the internet, it's ruined. So, the way we're at now, us men, you're looking at other avenues. But, just the curvy look. And I think the way they eat.
Good news. Please look at the last comment on this post. Someone unhinged made shit up, lol.
They still support the IDF, so Oreo can suck one. Jeez. Yeah, exactly the type you would expect. No shit. A mentally unhinged person who identifies as a woman who watches TikTok. Thanks for the donation, Will Mage. That is interesting.
So what would the particular policies of Netanyahu you disagree with be? Also, I heard that the aircraft carrier has now arrived in the Middle East. I can understand why they wanted to wait a bit for the carrier so that they can overpower them. Agree?
Yeah, nice. Looks like shit's about to go down. I don't follow Israeli politics all that closely. From what I understand, Netanyahu was trying to do some things to consolidate power for his party. And it was a little bit of a threat to their democratic system. But thanks for the donation, G.
Wow, P2 is based for once.
Yeah, really. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Is good up into a point, and I think it's good for athletics. They eat the high fats, which you recommend.
Yeah.
They eat a lot of sugars, but if you're an athlete, that's good. Problem is, they become insulin-resistant slobs after the age of 30, and they come in a bunch of health problems.
Do you like them when they're
Lenny
in
has diabetes, by the way, or had diabetes.
slob form or before that?
Absolutely.
Would you have sex with a Neanderthal woman? They have big noses. I don't think so. This one, maybe if she had a nice ass. That's tolerable. The big nose does go a long way. But yeah, I'd say generally, probably not. So, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, worthless.
Okay.
Mentally, physically, I see what that type of diet does to your brain and your every part.
It was supposed to show the first slide, but it says Oreo's parent company is no longer doing animal testing. In case you want to look at the link again from the beginning.
Yeah, I already know about that. So, yeah. Thanks for the donation, Willmage.
About you, and obviously you, I want to learn more from you and what you did with Logan's tremendous. Having him eat the right things, you know, instead of get him on the meds or something like that, when simple amino acids will do the job.
Right.
Dodo and Taylor Zelensky's fed up.
Came at Europe and questioned its defense readiness.
Instead of becoming a truly global power, Europe remains a beautiful but fragmented kaleidoscope of small and middle powers. Instead of taking the lead in defending freedom worldwide, especially when America's focus shifts elsewhere,
I'll tell you why. Europe has way too many female leaders. And they're infested with TikTok communist feminist brain rot horseshit. That's why they haven't taken national defense all that seriously, even though they're right next to Russia.
Europe looks lost trying to convince the US president to change. But he will not change.
Daniel,
Yep. This nicely sums up entire argument against Destiny.
The breaking news this morning, President Trump says the U.S. carried out large-scale strikes on Venezuela overnight.
The dictator and terrorist, Maduro, is finally gone in Venezuela.
All this happened just hours after a high-level delegation from Beijing visited Venezuela. For more than 2 decades, China's been expanding its presence across Latin America, investing billions of dollars constructing solar farms, subway lines, EV factories, and building projects that have drawn U.S. security concerns, like strategically located ports tied to Chinese companies, or a 16-story antenna in Patagonia, erected, China says, to support space research. As the U.S. continues to push forward with its aims in Venezuela after the military strike, the message from Washington is clear. It wants adversaries and rivals out of its backyard. But China is not backing down on its economic and political interests.
中方深化两国各领域务实合作的意愿不会改变。
China's strengthened its ties with Venezuela for more than a decade now, also heightening its influence across Latin America by building mega projects. But after the U.S. military action in Venezuela, where exactly does China go from here?
To understand how deep China's roots grow in Latin America,
enduring for decades upon decades, and China
firms, development banks, and private companies around the world plans, part of an effort of national in Latin America.
Yeah. This is obviously all related to national security. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
What about Eep from the Crudes? Would you have sex with her? She's 19, so she's legal.
With every sun comes a new day, a new beginning. But not for me. My name's Eep. The one's. Oh, we've been in that cave forever. It is with this family.
Nah, weird butt. Nice tits, but weird butt. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Vitaly makes an appearance at the press conference for the Nadam 22 fight.
Question for Adam. Adam, as you know, I spent 10 months, 290 days in prison. Can you do me a favor? Can I fuck Lenny tonight? Oh my God.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be honest, I think you got to work your way up.
Honestly?
You didn't have enough practice on those Filipino gang members in there?
Nah, they were Asian. I couldn't feel anything. But, you know, you're right about Lenny.
I thought you were a top, not a bottom, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, but you know, maybe one day if you start doing some work, you start off in the amateur leagues in the porn world, maybe you could get there one day, you know?
You're right. It's probably going to feel like throwing a
Don't say
hot
it.
dog in the
Don't
hallway.
say it. Don't say it. Let me tell you.
But I got
And this guy over here can attest.
Oh my God.
Her interior walls
Jesus.
are some of the best in the business.
Pristine. Cock.
Holy shit.
I mean,
I actually have a question for Vitaly.
Jeez. I would not want to be in a situation like that. Thanks for the donation, nigga. I feel embarrassed for Adam 2022. 21st Century Teller's not gonna lie, that's just incel cope. Name one feminist leader in Europe or even a female leader. You know, that bitch from that weird country with the dum-dum language. All male, Spain, France, Germany, Poland, UK, literally all male leaders. Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about presidents or prime ministers. So mayors, members of parliament, stuff like that. Italy has Melanie, who is like the most hawkish non-pacifist leader in Europe. She's letting in all the fucking illegals. After she said she wasn't going to do it. She was going to clamp down on like all the stupid illegal immigration, but she hasn't. Thanks for the donation though, 21st. James, no tellers, is being neurodivergent a real thing, or is that just pseudoscience bullshit? I don't know exactly what that term means. I know neuroatypical. I'm not familiar with the term neurodivergent. But thanks for the donation, James.
Is this scam or does the Islamic Republic literally do this?
Well, goddamn, folks, I didn't think it would happen this soon, but your boy got fatwa'd. For those of you guys who don't know what a fatwa is,
yeah, it's basically a hit called out. Yeah, they do this.
it's kind of like an Islamic doctrine or decree, usually sentencing somebody to death or harassment. And I got one today, issued to me by the Islamic Republic. I'm going to show you guys the receipts. It's pretty fucking crazy. What's up? I'm Tal the Traveling Clat. Your Swedes.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually do that. Thanks for the donation, G. Solachi Donny Tellers, what exactly is the problem with Chinese companies building good infrastructure, roads, bridges, electrical infrastructure, battery plants, etc., and improving lives of South Americans lifting up the continent? Exactly, please. Because they do predatory lending, where they will give out loans that they know the host country can't actually keep up with. And then what ends up happening is they end up making deals to consolidate the loans. That usually involves land grabs and military allegiance and stuff like that. Or military deals to set up bases. And it's all strategic so that they have a better chance of invading Taiwan and defeating an American invasion. Thanks for the donation, dumbass.
They want to throw a kid on Ritalin. Well, they wanted to, you know, to be honest, I'm on metoprolol, which is a
Beta
blood
blocker.
pressure, right? Beta, okay.
Yeah.
And then a Xarelto, which is a blood thinner.
Mhm.
And I was told that's a must or a high risk of a stroke. I stopped the medication, went and did the Ruby. Obviously, we had a hurricane, so I couldn't really train at a gym.
And what were you doing, lifting logs?
I was lifting gallons of water because, you know, I was stayed at my mother's and she had a bunch of, I was doing those. And then luckily the Motor City Madman, Jay Masters, who you're familiar with, is called up PJ Braun.
Oh, yes,
yes. He gave me his entire power rack and weight size on my pad just in case of future hurricanes.
So you got that in your garage now?
On a patio.
Now let me ask you a question. From what I understand, from what people, because what I did was when I previewed this video, I asked people to send me questions, and some of the questions people tell me is that your apartment is very slovenly and not clean.
Well, basically it just needs mopped, and it will look just like.
But aren't you in food services in the hospital? I would assume they have beat into your head.
I do mop floors, even after all these years, because you know, that's job security. When you're going to do every little job, I don't care how long I've been there. I don't like that. I work with a lot of people that think that you've been there 30 years. You know, that you're trying to work a you-know-what to death. That's what they all say. They don't want to walk across it. You know, I take pride when I hustle, and I give it just as much as I do in the gym.
VG just saw your debate. Destiny is clueless on Venezuela. Delcy was a calculated US back channel, and putting Maria in now would get her killed while Chavista loyalists still run the place. Fuck that queer, you did great.
Yeah. Yeah, retarded. He's a complete fucking idiot. I should have brought up that point too. That, yeah, if they tried to put in an elected official, they'd probably get killed by the cartel. Like, it's... Destiny's a fucking idiot. Thanks for the donation, Anonymous.
Gym. But at home, I go back to what the old theory was: why walk when you can sit? Why sit when you can sleep? And I go by what's going to make me grow: eating, sleeping, and move as little as possible. So I figured, you know, and I don't need to bring girls home anymore to fornicate. And I figured, you know,
so you're saving energy.
Correct. Now, you know, they say there's mold on the walls and such. It hasn't bothered me since. As long as my place is cool and it's well stocked in a refrigerator, you know, you don't really need to do that.
But you don't worry about.
He is so disgusting. It's just unreal.
Maybe the performance enhancing or the performance lessening effect of maybe like mold in the air might be breathing.
I don't buy that. Okay. I think the best defense is an immune system, a strong immune system.
So do you sleep a lot because of that?
Well, to be honest, on certain cycles, you know, you have trouble sleeping. I do use a CPAP mask. I've been getting great sleep since I'm being bumped, but I call it death sleep. You wake up weaker and fatter.
All right, so you're off the drugs for 3 months. Was that a tough thing for you to do?
Very.
Okay. Now, what would be a typical stack you'd be on?
Well, off season, actually, I started yesterday. I could go into detail, but it'd be very easy for viewers to follow. Again, Chad Nichols, Ronnie Coleman, off season stack.
Which is what?
High test.
How much is high test?
His recommendation was 3 grams per week.
What would you take?
I'm doing 2,400.
2,400, which means you're taking what, like a shot every day, or how's
I'm
that
taking
work?
No wonder this guy had health problems. Holy mother of a fuck.
Didn't you say you got a criminal charge against you in the Islamic Republic of Iran? Was that a fatwa? What was sentence they punished you to? Did they say they were going to kidnap you or something like what they said they vowed to with that YouTuber?
Well, Twitter sent me a warning saying that I have an arrest warrant out in Iran, and they said that I should not travel to the country. They used to have a service where verified users would be notified if they have an arrest warrant out. They did that to protect journalists, because there's a lot of journalists that use Twitter, and one of their tweets could be used to make an arrest in a certain country. So they were notifying journalists in general of stuff like that, but they sent me that warning. I don't know exactly what the charge was, but I know it was something under their blasphemy law, and since it came right after I made that video making fun of the Prophet Muhammad, I'm assuming it would be a death penalty. So yeah, thanks for the donation though, G.
T400 twice a week with 3 cc's each. Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, it's a cc and a half of Equipoise 300, Deca 300. So that's...
This guy is unfucking hinged. Absolutely unhinged. No wonder he had health problems. This guy literally just copied random cycles he heard about online and took ridiculous, massive doses of fucking steroids.
450, 900 of both, plus 50 mgs of methylendrostenolone, which I like to say the name, 3 times a day until I can't stand it anymore, which means
Dodo Donatello's based. It's too bad America doesn't have a leader like Zelensky.
Talk about the protests in Iran, but they drowned in blood. The world has not helped enough the Iranian people, and it's true. It has stood aside. And what will Iran become after this bloodshed? If the regime survives, it sends a clear signal to every bully: kill enough people and you stay in power.
Yep.
Sailing freely around Greenland, Ukraine can help. We have the expertise and weapons to ensure not one of those ships remains. They can sink near Greenland, just as they do near Crimea. No problem, we have the tools and we have people. For us, the sea is not the first line of defense, so we can take actions, and we know how to fight there if we were asked and if Ukraine were in NATO. But we are not. We would solve this problem with the Russian ships.
He is fucking badass as fuck.
U.S. forces have begun transferring ISIS detainees from prisons in Syria to Iraq. In recent days, deadly clashes have broken out between Syrian government forces and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, or SDF. A defense official tells CBS News the head of U.S. Central Command spoke with Syria's president yesterday about a plan for transferring up to 7,000 detainees. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is joining us now to break it all down for us. So Charlie, explain that phone call and what prompted the United States to start moving detainees over the course of the last few days.
Yeah, Vlad, there's a lot to cover here, but in short, the Syrian government forces have been advancing against the SDF, as you just mentioned there. The SDF were looking after these ISIS prisons. There's a place called Al-Shaddadi, which is a little bit further up to the northeast. They were in charge of Overwatch with, this is important, the backup of U.S. forces, because the U.S. forces have been allied with the SDF. So these very important ISIS prisons were there. Well, a few days ago, there was a prison break at Al-Shaddadi, and hundreds of ISIS prisoners escaped. Way more important than that is the Al-Hol prison, which is in Al-Hasaka, 7,000, as you just mentioned. I have to repeat here, they are not removing these ISIS, high value, by the way, ISIS prisoners.
That's not good. Thanks for the donation there, Dodo.
139 political prisoners have been released by the Venezuelan government. A $2 billion oil deal has already been made with the US. The Venezuelan government has also released that they will be passing deregulation laws for the oil industry. Destiny L.
Yep. Destiny's a dumbass. Thanks for the donation, Depressed and Repressed. Dodo Donatellers, could you imagine if VG went to Iran to call their bluff, they arrest him and make it a public trial, kind of like how North Korea did to Otto Warmbier? Do you think Trump would intervene to save Richard? Do you think Destiny would be against it? I don't know. I don't think Trump would, because I'm a Canadian citizen. But yeah, I don't know. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I don't get the side effects I do from a Trenanante, but it gets to the point where your blood pressure is so high you bend over, you're gushing blood.
So you get nosebleeds.
And I do a lying leg curl, there'll be a pool of blood, or push downs at the gym and there'll be blood on the cables and it freaks people out.
Yeah,
and I can understand that a bit, but when a guy freaked out, I told him you should be glad that my blood's on that pulley. You know?
So you're not really doing 2,400 milligrams of testosterone a week, you're doing 2,400 milligrams of injectables per week. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, because it sounded like a lot of tests, but you're not only doing 400 milligrams 3 times a week, you said, of the testosterone, right? The 400?
Twice a week, but 3 cc's each, Monday and Thursday.
So 3 cc's of the test 400?
Correct. And it's tolerable.
Oh, so that's 1,200 milligrams.
Right.
You're doing twice a week. So you're doing 20. Right. You are doing 2,400 milligrams. Let me ask you a question. Back in my day when I competed, I took a shot once to test 400, and I had the flu. It felt like I had the flu. You get the test flu. I felt so sick and so sore at the injection site for like 4 days. You're taking 3 cc's.
Were you taking a legitimate pharmaceutical compound? Probably not.
Who knows? Well, back in my day, everything was legitimate. Maybe,
Well,
maybe you're not taking a
your
legitimate
day's still my
pharmaceutical.
day. I know I like to say I'm 18 forever, and I'm sure I look it, but believe me, chronologically, which I don't like to say, and it goes back to a point. Let me tell you something, dude. You must believe you're 18 forever. When you're eating correctly, when you're replacing the hormones, that's what you are. When you start thinking, oh, I'm 40. Does Tom Brady think like that? No.
Right.
Does James Harrison think like that? No.
Right.
And they're the
Ben Boyd donated $2. Let me see. Yeah, thanks for the donation, Ben Boy.
top performers to this day. You'll see them on Sunday.
Why do you think you're so popular on the internet now? Why do you think that you've become this new
Honesty.
phrase? Yeah.
Honest to God, everything I say is the truth.
Yeah.
I don't lie, and I believe, you could call it God, you can call it creator, you can call it whatever. I'm not a religious person. I was brought up to be Catholic, but you have to admit there's a creator, and you have to admit there's right from wrong. Whoa, look at that freak. And you know.
Did you like the way you look there, or are you critical of yourself?
The legs. Or they're overdone because I ride a bicycle. I refuse to have a car because that keeps me on the straight and narrow. I could afford a car.
Right.
But, it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps away from the temptations.
Like what?
Well.
Like going to whorehouses or something like that?
Worse.
Like what's worse than that?
Things I've done in my past.
Like what? You said you're honest.
Well.
You said you're honest. That's why people like you.
Through bad neighborhoods or, I don't want to say stalking, but going over married women, Haitian married women.
Son Goku donated $2. Every human being has biases, but certain biases are rational and some aren't. Would you agree? Yeah, some are. Some are, some aren't, for sure. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Animal Liberation donated $2. Do you think this is real? If it's real, it makes me so angry and want to fuck up Russia so bad.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Insights from Ukraine and Russia. Right now you'll hear one of the most disturbing intercepted phone calls on my channel. It's a real evidence of the atrocities of the Russian army, but the world just needs...
Алло. Рыбка моя. Привет. Как дела? Как у тебя дела?
Oh my god, I don't know why YouTube always has to change the quality.
Да, отлично. Только с бани приехал. Откуда приехал? С бани. Ну, да ты что, вы уже в баню ездите? Ну да, баней называем тот самый шланг, с которого нас поливают, а мы под ним моемся. Очень хорошо, девушка. Это здорово, что тут можно сказать. Сходим картошку наберем. Угу. Ой, у селян. Он такой типа... И вам продают или так дают? Так дают. Книг понабрали, книги читаем, да. Культурно развиваемся. Молодцы. Смотрите, только аккуратней с этими селянами. Да? Что они поделают? Ты же сам рассказывал эту историю. Очень интересно. Да. Везде в церквях это самое идут 40-устые заказаны конкретно на себя. В Балтийске, в Калининграде, в Советске 2 церкви и в этом самом Славки, так что, зайка, все хорошо. Неужели ты думаешь, что мама как-то оставит это все? Нет.
У нас тут, знаешь, у меня на глазах, короче, ну как, я тоже в этом участвовал. Мы пытали пленных. ФСБшники. Знаешь, что такое розочка?
Нет.
На теле мужчины можно сделать 21 розу.
Это
20 пальцев и член. Прошу прощения за выражение.
Поняла. Ага.
Вот.
Jeez.
Видела, как розочка, когда распускается, как раскрывается?
Да.
Вот. Также вдоль кости кожа срезается с мясом. На всех пальцах. Вот.
Угу.
Потом то же самое делается и там.
Ничего себе.
Вот это называется 21 роза на теле мужчин.
Угу.
Еще знаешь, какие пытки я видел?
Такие. А почему ты говоришь, что ты принимал участие? Ну, это ФСБшники.
Захватывали же, пленных приводили.
Ну.
И пока ждали пленных, пленных этих.
Yeah, this is real. Russian soldiers have released video footage of them torturing people, so yeah, I'd say this is absolutely real. That's absolutely insane. Yeah, Russia needs to be destroyed. Thanks for the donation, though, Animal Liberation.
Houses.
2 years, 2 months, 22 days, being a member of Vegan Gain's Dark Side of Veganism. Well, thank you, heartedly, Tin Man Adonis.
In front of their husband. Well, I wouldn't say. I like to use that word. I like to call it, it's what men do. You pursue women. Stalking is another.
So if some woman is married to another guy, you'll actually.
Yeah, I've seen the video of Mike overhead pressing 275 by 8.
To go to their house?
Well, I used to believe I had a real, belief that, hey, as a superior man, you love your woman, you better go out and fight me, or at least pull a gun on me with some respect, like your neighbor would up here on the road.
Yeah, Lenny went to my neighbor's house, the one who told me before that he doesn't believe that he has to be neighborly to me. And, people think I was exaggerating. You went there, he was an asshole to you, right?
We pulled up, we thought it was the correct address because you got that GPS system. We saw a basketball court, maybe that's Dave's place.
Right.
And looked like a plantation. And I got out of the car, I had to spit. And I spit in the yard, looked up, and this guy came on the porch like this. And he's like, wrong address. I said, is this 50-something other? He says, no. I said, wrong address. I said, we're looking for Dave Palumbo. He said, wrong address. He says, I said, Dave Palumbo, the butter here. He goes, I don't give a shit what he is.
Yeah, you know what? This guy was yelled at me. I never had said 2 words to him, and I told him to go fuck himself. So probably, that's why I don't talk to neighbors. I don't want to be friends with neighbors. But you know what? This guy's got a real problem. I wish he would have belted him and knocked him out.
I think I would have been shot, but rightfully so. But you know what? You're Dave Palumbo. You're one of the legends in this world. And what the hell are you?
Yeah, he's got a problem.
Well, I said, I said, lucky you don't have a rapper living here. And he laughed. He thought that was funny. Worst case scenario.
You would think that I was doing illegal activities out of here. The guy has got mental problems.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, mental problems. All right, let's get back to you for a second because I want to see how you got your start in this whole thing. I understand that you played football. Your dad was a football player?
My dad got a full ride to Boston College. Actually, I'm from Oakmont. You may have said incorrect. I was a native Florida. I'm from Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Born and raised there, just 8 miles south of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
A nice blue-collar WASP town. A church and every
white Anglo-Saxon American
church on every block and a bar on every block. And a good football tradition, Western Pennsylvania. And he grew up with. His father committed suicide when he was 2 years old, jumped off the bridge into the Allegheny River. And his mother at the time, she was an immigrant.
What is your background? What's your ethnic background?
Croatian, which is Yugoslavian. Yeah. My father, my mother's Polish. So it's
wow.
It's what Hitler referred to as the scum of the earth.
Hybrid vigor, we call that, yeah.
Yeah. But, good genetic line. And back then, she was a housekeeper and she had a single mother with 8 kids and they didn't have welfare at the time. They maybe got some government cheese or butter. Mm-hmm. And many times he'd come home from school. Also, he was born with a skin deformity, like red splotches of skin all over his body.
Right.
And as a little kid, it was Dad, you look like you got salami and cheese all over. He'd give you a funny look, but
Meaning your dad didn't like it right off the bat.
Yeah. But many times he'd come home, his furniture would be on the street. Right. And in that town, everybody talked and,
Why would his furniture be on the street?
Couldn't pay the rent. And back then, there wasn't all these laws. No, they dump your stuff on.
Were you guys poor growing up?
No, obviously he had a business degree from Boston College, and he was in the auto parts franchise.
Oh, when your father
was I wasn't. I know his background. His brother also excelled on the football field, got a full ride to Penn State, and ended up playing at Pitt. Mm-hmm. Both got career short of knee injuries. Mm-hmm. He actually has an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer. He was drafted in the Eagles in the 12th round. Rookie end is too aggressive, and it described in detail how he hit the starting quarterback, which you don't do in practice.
Oh, really?
And the team jumped on and beat him up, and the reporters came and said, I'd like to get that article if anybody ever find it. It should be August 1968 Philadelphia Inquirer. He had a copy in his scrapbook we used to read all the time. And they asked him why he did it. And he says, I'll do anything to make this team, even die. Right. I'll do anything to make this team. And he, being cut short his rookie year with bad knee surgeries they had then, with
sure,
the big scars.
Arthroscopic surgeries, yeah, back then.
I remember as a kid, as a toddler, he'd take me down to local coach and say, oh, my son, this and that, he's going to be better than me. And He drilled me from day one, had me eating right correctly with the knowledge at the time. And
Did you like football?
I did, but looking back, there's a few things that went wrong. He was way too tough on me. Even in Little League Baseball, I remember coming home and him beating the hell out of me for striking out. And I was so more afraid of him. And obviously do the 10 feet away, take the football and just drill you, which made you tough. Showed me the technique, showed me how to intimidate people. And, for some reason, probably because he threw away my comic book collection, I didn't play my senior year. I was doing okay. I actually quit my 10th grade year because he was just, try to get him out of my case. He's always.
So your father wasn't helping your ego; he was hurting it. He didn't realize.
Well, he was helping me with the training. He had weights downstairs. He was on there 7 nights a week, grinding and groaning, and then going to bed right after that with the old York set. Putting local pictures up of players going to the prom from the high school is locker room bulletin board motivation, and he was just so obsessed with it. And any guy that would ever talk to him, he'd look at him or look at me and say, "Where'd he play his major college ball?" Like you were basically nothing if you didn't. And I was on that road to getting a D1 scholarship. I blame it for me being a cookie cutter too. Wanted to be liked. He said, "Don't worry about being liked. You get a D1 ride. You'll have more girls, friends, and connections than you ever imagine." He goes, "Don't." And I didn't follow his advice, and I didn't play my senior year, and that was it. I was kicked out of the house.
Really?
But looking back,
how old are you?
17. There's no law. They didn't. The local police knew him.
You didn't go to college?
No, I was basically on my own. My mother. He divorced my mother. He just
He had a really rough life growing up, and considering how hard his dad was on him, he turned out. His life was fucking bizarre and fucked up, but as a person in general, he turned out pretty alright. He didn't fucking rob or kill anybody or go nuts.
It went very hard. And I don't blame him. That's what I was born to do. I like doing it. And, looking back now, that's why I try to tell the maniacs, go all out. And I try to make up.
So, I always say we become our parents when we get older. Do you feel like now it's like you've embraced all his advice
I do.
and
I
protocols?
apologize to him. I know.
You're living the lifestyle now that he wanted you to live when you were younger.
We don't speak, but, if he's watching it, I apologize to you, Dad. And hopefully, he's very healthy, very clean-cut guy. He's a great father.
Yeah.
I just got caught up in what they taught in schools and that I was being a victim, I was being abused. Other people tell me, no, he wasn't. A good ass whooping never hurt anybody. Not getting discipline hurt.
He says this, but his dad's style of parenting literally fucked up his life. You can look back in hindsight and say you should have listened to your dad, but the reason you didn't listen to your dad is because he was being an intolerable fucking asshole.
Hurts, as you can see with the rampant.
I think there's a fine line though between encouraging and being tough on your kid, and then maybe going too much. Or maybe he crossed that line. Because, I'm a new father now, and I have to. I'm into this whole sports thing. I'm sure when my son starts playing sports, I'm going to be like a nutty parent too. And I got to figure out, where that line is, where I could push him, but maybe not enough. I always thought my dad didn't push me enough, and he was a big sports guy. But now looking back, I kind of respect the fact that he kind of let me make my own decisions. Because he could have pushed me more, and I was a good athlete. Yeah. I'm thinking, man, if he only pushed me more, maybe if he would have pushed me more, I would have been like, fuck you, Dad, and I would have done what you did. So there is that fine line that you have to figure out.
Exactly. And I also I'll say this right now, and I'll blame the Weeder organization. I followed their diet against my father's wishes. They had that cookie cutter, high carb, low fats. Right. As an athlete, after a full day of school, I was dead tired.
I'm sure, because it was too many carbs. Let me ask you a question. This cookie cutter thing, you don't like to be the norm. You like to be outside the norm. Is that why that cookie cutter term drives you nuts?
Well,
who's a cookie cutter in the bodybuilding industry now that you would say?
99% of them.
Give me top names, who you'd say, that guy's a cookie cutter. I don't respect him.
Just the guys that wear the same shirts, the gear.
Give me an example of a person.
The late Rich Piana's crew.
Okay.
All looking like, that same look.
So Rich wasn't a cookie cutter, but the people who follow him were, is what you're saying?
Pretty much.
So you're not a 5% of them? Never were?
To do that would be a cookie cutter. I'm not a bodybuilder. I consider myself maybe the modern day Jim Thorpe. I consider myself an athlete.
Do you think you can high jump at that weight?
No. Okay. My athletic ability has went down the tubes in the past 3 years. Yeah. And I'm wondering if it has something to do with some of the things I've been taking.
Like what?
Like GH.
Do you think it's decreased your performance?
It's decreased the size of my... I'm leaner. I obviously haven't used it in 3 months, but I notice, and somebody said it about you too, they notice spinning of the arms. I take it that means it's burning off visceral fat, which if you ever see a guy that took straight...
There are some people who, if they take growth hormone, they seem to produce way too much T3 thyroid hormone because it does upregulate T4 to T3 conversion. And I've seen some dudes like Evan Centropani talk about how they only like taking growth hormone when they were dieting. Because if they took it when they were trying to bulk and gain muscle, they just couldn't. They just stayed lean.
Shoes. Say an Eddie Robinson. Or say, Arnold back then. They got that full look, not ripped. Sometimes I think GH gives you that chewed up and spit out look, like Rich Gaspari in this recent company. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what I think?
Bill Wilmore, you get that.
I think there's guys that have genetically good arms, and then when they take GH, it looks amazing, Ronnie Coleman. And then you have guys that, I never had big arms. I wasn't a big arm guy. I got big arms through, chemical enhancement and training. I had 22.5-inch arms when I was competing at my best. So I wasn't meant to have 22.5-inch arms. Ronnie Coleman, when he started bodybuilding, had 20-inch arms. So you're just from playing football.
Yes, but pound for height, you're bigger and better than Ronnie Coleman. Hats off to you.
I thank you, Lenny, for that.
You're definitely in the freak zone.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to go on the Dave Palumbo show. That might end up happening if I end up competing. He might actually be interested in doing an interview.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, look, I try to maximize what I had, the tools I had. I did it at a younger age, so it enabled you to do it. If I had started at 35, I probably would never have been as good or as big.
Trend prolapse only 218 cycle update. I'm only taking 267 milligrams test a week. Are you running tests until you plateau, then upping the dose? Or will you introduce another anabolic? I'd probably just up the dose of test. And if I needed to, I'd add in a little bit of boldenone to control E2 sides. But I wouldn't be really using the boldenone as an anabolic. Test so far seems to just work best for me. I was on 200 milligrams of boldenone a little while ago, and can't say that I got a bad result from it. I definitely noticed like my veins were popping out a bit more. It didn't actually increase my hematocrit though. My hematocrit went down, and what is it called? Yeah, the only problem that I had with it, sort of, is it did raise my LDL a little bit. But, I responded to it fine. I just think test is a stronger anabolic. Gotta achieve that Jack Hanma build. Yeah. Oh my god. Why? It's not letting me... Jeez, wouldn't let me pull the tab. I don't want to look like Jack Hanma. I want to look like Kazuya from Tekken 8. Like he's jacked and everything, you know. Thanks for that today, shit. Tread prolapse.
As big as I was. Now, having said that, how old are you now?
I will be 48. Like I said, I'm 18 forever. That's
I know,
first
but you're on Earth
chronologically,
yeah.
yeah.
You're 40. So, I mean, at this point in time, are you trying to still put more muscle on, or are you trying
Absolutely.
to... Oh, you are.
You should always be fighting for more muscle. If you're not fighting for more muscle, whoa, look at that freak. That's a good 350 right there.
What's the end game? What are you looking to accomplish? What would you like in the next 5 years to accomplish bodybuilding-wise?
I want to be on stage. That's one of the biggest, hardest guys that ever set foot on a stage. I don't worry about terms like symmetry and this and that. Right. I think you ought to be as big and as hard as you can get.
How big do you think you can be body weight-wise? With glutes, of course.
I think there's no reason I can't be 350. If Greg Kovacs was 330, right. You know, I don't think I take in enough. My legs dwindle into nothing. I ride a bike for, you know, and I got to sort of adjust the cardio. I got off the Stairmaster.
Yeah, definitely got to get up.
I just think you got to get as big as you possibly can in the off season, right. And then with so much muscle, then
he's pretty delusional.
Hopes just less withers away.
Now I got to give you some constructive criticism. I was watching one of your videos, one of your squat videos online that you have, and I noticed you're very strong, but I noticed you don't do full range motion. You don't go all the way down. Yeah. Do you think that's maybe sacrificing some of that inner?
Well, actually, I am squatting lighter and deeper.
Oh, you are.
I am much deeper, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't want to even say what I'm doing right now, but I am going deeper on that now. With my surgeries on my arms, I cannot lock out on a bench press.
Okay, but Jimmy Fletcher can't do that either, and he's got that's fine. I don't think you need to lock out to get big pecs.
Right.
Branch Warren doesn't lock out. Look at the size of his chest.
Exactly.
Right. Do you adhere to do you like more strict form, or do you like the open form, kind of the way Branch and Ronnie and Johnny Jackson train?
Well, when I was younger, yeah, it was anything just pushed away from me and Andrew Kalura, 8.8 to point B, but I got to work to where I don't injure. I had many tears. I had the biceps tendon, osteophytes removed.
You had 2 bicep tears, is that true?
Yeah, I tore the head and I tore the tendon completely off.
Wow.
Surgery, but it's come back. I had nice peaks. I don't have that anymore. And I just want everything bigger. My calves are basically...
Humongous Tony Tellers, what were your total test and free test levels before starting now? My total test was 540. I didn't check my free levels. Last time I checked my testosterone, it was 4,100. And I remember my free test was like something like 11 times the normal range. Can't remember what my free test was. But, that was when I was on 350 test. I'm on 267 now, so it's probably somewhere between like 2,500, 3,000. So yeah, a lot higher. Thanks for the donation, Humongous.
Basically hopeless, and I'm wondering if it's a circulation issue. Because when I was 415, you could see fat guys with the discoloration.
Yeah, I have the discoloration too. So
that's from lack of circulation, correct?
It was from when I was 350, 320. I was
320 at 5'10".
I'll be 5'9.5". Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Were you able to sleep?
I snored, but I didn't really. Actually, now that I'm lighter, I don't snore at all. So I don't think I had a real big snoring problem. But when I got bigger, I did snore, but I didn't stop breathing. I don't think I had apnea, which was different.
No, I just want to ask you a question. You know, that when they called you, when they termed palumboism, did you take offense to that? Were you self-conscious about it?
No, you know why? Because I don't take offense to anything. Nothing bothers me. Like I always say, you know, people can make up whatever they want. In this world, first of all, if you're going to be a public figure, as the way I am, you have to be willing to accept the good and the bad.
You just spoke about
and I think that more people embrace who I am as opposed.
Ben Boy, donate $2. Let me see.
Damn it, what's going on? I'm trying to watch a porno, and you fart knockers keep interrupting me! I am gonna smack some sense into you! No way! Get out of here! I wanna watch my porno! Beavis, I am the ghost of Christmas future, and I'm gonna straighten you out, even if it means sticking a Christmas tree where the sun don't shine! Whoa, I get hurt. Whoa! Idiot, they didn't have enough food for their kids! I'm gonna take you outside!
I cruise on 500 to donate 218. Have you heard of Andrei Smayev? His Russian buddy allegedly using 100 plus IUs of growth hormone per day, and I thought Rich Piano was crazy for using 60 IUs in his peak.
Have you heard of Andrei
Growth
Smayev?
hormone doesn't do anything past about 28 IUs. After that, your body can't use any more of it. If anybody's taking something like 100 IUs, what they're doing is they're getting it black market, obviously, and their source isn't particularly good. And they basically just kept taking more and more and more until they didn't see a benefit. And that would be the only reason to take doses that high. So they're just getting a source that isn't very potent, just because it's not meeting pharmaceutical grade standards.
Andrei Smayev, the big Russian guy.
Yes, I think so, yes.
Have you heard about the GH that this guy's apparently running?
No, go on.
Up to 120 IUs a day.
Oh my God. 120.
This guy's doing 120 IUs a day.
Yeah, like again, when they say 120 IUs, it's not really, because they're getting a source that has a really low potency. For whatever reason. It might be due to low purity. It might be due to like damaged peptides in the shipping, transportation process, whatever. But they're not really taking 120 IUs. It's really misleading. Again, with pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, there's no increase in efficacy past 28 IUs. It literally has no more biological effect. So nobody's taking that much growth hormone.
So bear in mind, most people, when they buy GH, buy 10 vials of GH. It comes in a pack. I'm sorry, guys, I'm giving you some of the download here, but this guy's using a pack plus 2 more vials a day. When I met him, he didn't want to bench with me. I asked him, he said no. Yeah. So no, okay, you know, whatever. I remember shaking his hand, and obviously the main thing that grows on GH is hands and feet, yes, and then ears and nose.
Oh yeah, dude, just looking at the guy's hands and feet, he's on high doses of GH, but realistically, he's taking what is really 28 IUs. It's just that the black market source, for whatever reason, it has low potency. He has to take that much to get a similar effect from like 28 actual IUs.
And this guy's hands were like this. I'd never seen anything like it. It was
swallow your hand.
And then when I looked down, you know, we took some pictures, and I remember looking back at the pictures, and this guy's feet, and I'm not lying, were folded over the side of his shoes. He looked like, you know, Frodo.
Yeah.
Imagine Frodo, but 6'3". His feet were like this, and you can just see where the GH has just took his body parts and just gone and grown him. I think Rich Piano talked about taking 5 IUs an hour, which might be 60 IUs a day, and obviously we know what happened with Rich, you know, rest in peace, but imagine...
Rich Piano died from snorting like crystal meth.
Doubling that dose. Like Smayev, I think he's 26. He looks 45. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's do it.
think Larry Wheels might have recently gotten umbilical hernia. I think I saw a video of him where he had a bulge in his stomach. Somebody, I remember I was watching somebody who did. Yeah, they're pretty ridiculously huge. Thanks for the donation, I cruise on 500.
Does your cock experience growth at that high of a dose?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you're taking that much. As far as I know, I don't think so, but wouldn't surprise me. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
And show you your future. Maybe this will wake you up. The cemetery. You see, you never did anything with your life.
Fuck. Maybe I should, you know, maybe I was, maybe I should probably, maybe it's time for me to, you know,
Yes, that was Beavis and Butthead. I don't know why somebody sent me that.
Supposed to hate on me, but there's a lot of haters. My neighbor's a hater. I don't even know why he's a hater, but there's people that just won't like you in life. They'll look at you and they'll just say, I don't like this guy. And there's no reason a lot of times. A lot of times the people who don't like me when they meet me in person, they change their mind, you know, because they just see a persona, and sometimes there's a lot of jealousy too. I mean, I guarantee there's people out there that are jealous of you. Now people would say, well, why would this guy be jealous of him? He's got a better physique. Well, because maybe you're being acknowledged for what you're doing. You know, even for good or bad, you're being acknowledged, and people are paying attention to you.
And I think YouTubers, you hit on the reason they like me and Dave. We're honest.
Yeah. Now let me ask.
Dave, can I see how honest you really are?
Yeah.
Do you look at porn? Are you a porn addict?
No, I'm not a porn addict. I never really was. When I was on a lot of drugs, I definitely looked at more porn than I don't look at anything. I don't need it anymore. But you know, I have a life.
You don't need it.
No, I'm not on 6,000 milligrams of testosterone a week.
That definitely has something to do with it.
Absolutely. I think that it's very hard to be monogamous in a relationship when you're on a lot of gear too.
Yeah.
Because it changes your thought patterns. And I think it's worse for women. I think the women who are on the gear become nuts because they got the female hormones and then they got the male hormones in there and they're conflicting and telling the brain to do opposite
Been there
things.
and done that.
Yeah.
And if you don't satisfy them, look out. You're in trouble.
Did you date a woman bodybuilder before?
Dated a woman that took Dianabol, a Jamaican woman that looked like Serena Williams. And I had a little problem satisfying her. She took her nails and ripped me open.
Now, I also saw another video, and I don't know if this is too graphic for the show, but I guess nothing really is, that you're into like the women pooping on you. Is that true?
Well, again, it has to do with a lot of what you're taking.
Yeah.
What
were you taking when we were into that?
You know, a lot of tests.
Uh-huh.
You know, bulk. You know, the funny thing was, when I'm dieting.
I've never wanted a woman to poop on me. I love sniffing and licking butts, but I've never wanted somebody to shit on me. I would probably like pissing on someone. That seems like fun. But, yeah, I haven't noticed a difference in sexual preference or, like, extremity of my, like, kinks since being on gear. Like, it's definitely made me more horny, but I haven't, like, you know, gone from, like I don't know, liking ass licking to wanting to see people eat shit or anything like that.
I don't know if it's the anti-estrogens or what, but I have no interest. And that's when women come on to me. I can't win. They don't like me because I'm big, sweaty, and heavy when I want it. Right. But when I start dieting, they come on to me. I have no interest. I want to train. I actually want to eat. You know, my strict meal.
Right.
Get away from me.
Right.
I can't win.
What kind of women seem to like you that come on to you? Do you have your own little groupies?
You know what's funny? I've gotten extremely tan, you know, obviously through the tanning agents.
Are you using melanotan?
Not right now. I do use it pre-contest.
Because you get like purpley, I noticed. That's when you use a little too much of it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, that's when the black women shy away, and the white women come on to me.
Oh, so the white women like when you're darker. Oh.
Yes, and the black women, why you do that to yourself, the Haitians?
Oh, they like you when you're light.
Why you make yourself ugly and black?
But you like the Haitians, so maybe you do better off season then.
The old school Haitians are great.
Yeah. You still look pretty tan right now, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, I go out in this. I'm a big believer in the vitamin D and the tanning.
Oh, so you do the natural vitamin
Absolutely.
D. Absolutely.
And I take 25,000 units in gel cap form. I'm a big believer, the king of vitamin D.
Yeah, me too. D3.
Let me ask you this.
You know, to be exposed to the sun, I mean, to get your vitamin D production, you have to really expose your whole body. Will you lay out on a lounge chair outside?
No, I lay out naked in the back.
You do?
It's a fenced-in area, but...
What if there's something, like Tyler, my producer, flies drones. So if we flew a drone over your house, we might catch it?
Yeah. You know, I have a towel that I'll throw on.
Okay.
You know, but if the landscapers come, you know, one kid came with a lawnmower. Oh, excuse me, sir, can I mow the lawn? I said, get the F out of here. But my girl that lives next door to me, you know, I caught her looking through the blinds, which, you know, really nice. Just the hell with it.
What does she look like?
Not bad looking.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
So you're still appealing to women, you find? Sometimes the women don't like the big guys, you know.
Women they're terrible. I mean, the way they're brought up today, they have no idea. If it was 200 years ago, believe me, they all wanted a big guy.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's defense.
The highwaymen that come out to your cabin out here to steal, rape, and kill. I mean, another thing people say they don't want to have kids, which is my problem. I'm going to have a kid. Andrew Kalor, you're going to have a kid. These two have kids. What do you stand before your creator? He said, what did I give you that for?
Right.
To fornicate? No.
You better get cracking. You're 48.
Well,
I waited to 49. You don't want to wait too long.
Like I said, I think barring accident, I could be 160 years old with the technology.
Right.
I really believe that.
Now, let me ask you a question. You went through this health scare recently with the doctors. I'm sure you got the speech, right, from the cardiologist there?
Twice. Because I went into it 2 months later because I didn't take the blood thinners.
Okay, and what happened?
It is a good thing he never had kids. A very good thing.
My legs swelled up to the point where my calves, the skin cracked open.
Oh, yeah, you got the ulcerations you had, huh?
The skin, the edema in the lower legs was like ridiculous.
Now, why do you think you've improved now? Because of the medication you're on? Or
I think because I couldn't sleep. I was on the Tranananthates because I could do, after a contest, a muscle recruit where I'll go back to the anadrol test and Tranananthates and stuff my face for a good month or two after the show to put on the muscle that I've lost. And I was getting to the point where, you can't sleep even with the CPAP mask, so I got to sleep like this. And obviously when you sit in a chair, your legs swell up.
Right. Now, are you worried that, you're doing damage to your heart? 'Cause look, if you were 20, it's a different story. The body's a little more resilient. Now you're older. You see guys like Rich Piana dying and young guys like Dallas McCarver dying. The doctors are obviously warning you about the gear. Are you concerned about your health? I mean, because you obviously have a lot to contribute to the world.
I am, obviously.
Are you willing to die for this sport?
It's not dying for the sport. It's going all out and living life second by second. Any embryo that's fertilized, you're guaranteed of one thing, and that's death. You're not even guaranteed to be born.
Right. So
you never should fear the one guarantee in life. And what I tell people, like I said, I'm not looking at religion, but you have to say there's a creator, and you have to say there's a force of good and evil. The Catholic, the things I was taught, I see the ridiculousness in that, and I look at Jesus as the ultimate non-cookie cutter. He took on everybody. He hung around with prostitutes. He hung around with tax collectors, the lowest forms of life. And he criticized current tradition and law to the point where he nailed him on a cross.
Right.
So, you have to believe in him. And you look at Muhammad, he's nothing. He was a cookie cutter. He was a fornicator. They put him up as a god, and they have that type of, I get it online, this and that. They threaten me in this.
Based. Prophet Muhammad was a cookie cutter. That would be great on a t-shirt.
Here's part 2 if you want to react.
Let me see. Yeah, maybe we can watch part 2. Thanks for the donation, nigga. That'd be funny to put on a t-shirt. Big Lenny's head, and it says Prophet Muhammad was a cookie cutter.
This and that. Well, like I said, I have legions of misfit maniacs that anytime you guys want to pull that convert or be killed, say, we're going to snuff you out. I'll tell you that right now.
Who are the misfit maniacs? Explain to us.
That's a phenomenon of people that watch our channel. And I'll tell you honestly, when I was in the hospital, I received over 100 email get well wishes from all over the world. And the director there, I worked the hospital going on 28 years, and she told me she never had anybody receive. She said, you got a lot of friends. I said, well, actually, that's from the internet. We've received that many get well wishes. So.
We got to stop the police here. This is great. Tyler, can we take a camera on hand? So what happened?
This is my husband, Dave.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey, how you
Steve
doing?
Phone. How you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Hey.
You've been always having issues with the neighbor? Always? What? Tell him the story about what he did before.
We just moved in like recently within a year. We've gotten 2 packages to the house like by accident. I went over there like a nice guy with my wife, introduced ourselves. Hey, we're the new neighbors. We got this package that was yours. I don't even like to talk to neighbors normally. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be a nice guy. It's a nice community. And I was driving down the block one day, and this guy he was like screaming. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this guy? So I pull into my driveway here. I park my car, and he pulls up over there, and he's like screaming, "Hey, asshole! Slow the fuck down when you're driving down the street." Never, you think the guy would come and say, "Hey, can I talk to you a minute? Yeah, can you slow down?" I don't know if I was going too fast. I don't even, I might have been, he could have said it nice to me. I'm like, he's like, yeah. He goes, "I might be your neighbor, but I don't need to be neighborly." So you know what I said? I said, "You know what?" He's like, "What?" I said, "Go fuck yourself and get off my property." Because I'm like, this guy's out of his fucking mind.
Coming on the famous Dave Columbus podcast, coming from Delray Beach, Florida, we used a GPS, pulled up in his driveway, got out of the car. I just says, "This is so-and-so address." And I said, "We're looking for Dave Columbus, the barber." He goes, "I don't give a shit what he is." We're at the wrong address. He was very confident. And we left.
You think they're drunk? You think he was drunk? Because they think he was drunk.
Totally. There's an incident with that?
He wanted us to. He was trying to instigate something, so probably so he can pull something out.
What's his beef?
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. So what? So he called the police?
Yeah. He went to the wrong.
For what?
He just concerned.
About what though?
We get calls like this all
He thought Big Lenny was there to get him.
Squash him, make sure everybody's all right.
He was going to take a leak on the sideline.
We're here sitting in the studio with Lenny Person. And Lenny, as you can see, I wasn't kidding about my neighbor. He certainly is a...
What happened after you got Order 66? I got a lot of weird comments, and I didn't know where they were coming from. Then I learned about Order 66.
An absolute lunatic.
I never saw anything like that, calling the police for absolutely no reason.
You're terrorizing the neighborhood already. Now, let's get back to what we were talking about, because I was asking about your health. The doctors obviously don't want you on the anabolics anymore, right?
He was very general. Stop taking whatever you're doing. You know, absolutely no knowledge.
Very
of it.
cookie cutter.
Correct.
All right, now I want to bring up something, because you mentioned to me in the break something about you've become sort of a cult leader in a sense for the misfits out there. The misfits of the world, you have people calling you from all over the world. Tell me about that.
Well, they got a hold of my number accidentally, and I've been receiving probably over 100 phone calls, and a lot of people just hang up at a lot.
Why would the Young Turks name themselves after an ultra-nationalist group that committed a genocide against the Armenians? I mean, Jenkins and Anna aren't young. Do you know anything about the Armenian/Azerbaijan conflict? What do you think about it?
I don't know much about it. I just know that the group called the Young Turks genocided Armenians. Like, from what I understand, the reason Cenk called it the Young Turks was because he used to be super conservative and like denied the Armenian genocide. It's really weird. I have no idea why they stuck with that name. Like, it's just bizarre. Thanks for the donation, though, G.
A lot of young men I've spoken to have said how much I've changed their life, and they're going on and on about their activities in life and asking me if they should quit school or whatever and this and that. I said, no, absolutely not. And a couple of them written letters and saying they're going to go on Backpage and get an escort. And I do not want people to go down that road.
Do you pay for sex? Have you ever paid for sex?
Everybody pays for sex in one way or the other.
I know, but have you legit...
Time is money.
Right. Have you ever given like money for sexual services? It's in the past.
I have.
Okay, you have.
And it turns out it's probably better than getting into a relationship and spending 5 times the money. And it's kind of, you know, I don't believe in the term girlfriend. That's a cookie cutter term.
Right.
You have a wife or you have a whore.
Okay. So what is your wife before she's your girlfriend? Your whore?
Your wife cares about you. You should, if you're able to, have a child with them.
Right.
Oh. Yeah. Look who I got. Oh my goodness. Do you guys see this? Oh, this is the love of my life gummy. My gum. Look at my sweet baby gum. Isn't he wonderful? My little baby gum. Oh, he's so nice. Look how beautiful he is. Oh, those stripes. Oh, and his coat is so soft and he feels so warm. Oh, I love my gum so much. You're a good gum. Yeah, that's a good gum. Oh, you're so handsome. You're just such a beautiful, sentient boy. Oh my goodness. You're sentient like Joey. Oh my God. So beautiful. Oh, I love you, Gum. My sweet baby. He has such a big cat head. That's a good cat.
Procreate.
But before she's your wife, what would you term her then, if you don't want to use a cookie cutter term?
You should not have intercourse. I'm talking about regular intercourse before you're married. That ruins it. Now, you could play with each other, foreplay, and do all that kind of stuff.
What if sex isn't good, and then you got married?
Sex is, you find out that from the oral sex and the masturbation.
Okay.
I mean...
Oh, that's great.
Let's face it, the genitals are the same no matter what color this and that, unless she has a defect. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to find that out with the kissing and the foreplay.
Have you been with any women that had defects down there?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I really haven't.
Have you ever been with a woman and found out she used to be a man? Like maybe had the sex change or something
Well,
like
I'm not interested in that. I actually was with a Cuban, one in Miami that had the operation. It doesn't interest me.
No? Okay. Have you had sex with someone like that?
I have, and it just turned out to be nothing in particular.
Frank Tufano donated $2. Will we ever see regular content like this from you again? Chang or Mike O'Hearn? Yeah, that's some funny shit. Yeah, the aliens are funny. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video like those again. Thanks for the donation, dude.
But again,
does it work? I mean,
it does.
Yeah. Did you think you were with a woman? Did it feel like you were with a woman?
Yeah. Well, to me, a woman is not so necessarily what your genitals are, but what your estrogen level is.
Right.
How your curves and your
but
hips.
I just mean anatomically speaking.
Correct.
It felt like you were with a woman.
Correct. I mean, you look at some of these diesel dykes or some of these female bodybuilders. You're going to call that a woman with the genitals like this?
Right.
Probably bigger than mine is now.
Yeah.
You know, as I always told people.
Has yours shrunk since you've been off the anabolics?
It depends how fat I am, because it's like a cat. They have a retractable penis. And it gets, as I was told by the Haitians, gets sucked in with your big stomach.
Oh.
But when I diet, it comes out so much, as you can see on stage. People have asked me after the show if I had a Coke bottle in my...
Oh, really? Are you well endowed down there?
When I'm lean, yes.
Well, it should be the same size off-season and pre-contest, shouldn't it?
It gets inside, as they say.
Right. But have you measured it?
Oh, these were the most bizarre people of all time.
Actually, I was told it's thick.
Okay.
And again, next to my huge body, it's going to look small.
Okay.
So girls see that, but when it's in them,
Oh my God.
they'll say, it's the biggest they ever had.
Okay, so it's an illusion, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, it's totally unimportant as far as sex goes.
Now, you just mentioned earlier that you have a big influence on a lot of people out there now.
Yeah.
So you're acting as a role model for people maybe who feel like a little inadequate.
Right.
And you're giving them a sense of self, a sense of a voice.
Yes.
So to speak, through this internet. And you're affecting the entire world, not just a local type of situation.
Right. A lot of problems with depression. Depression is from lack of goal setting. Let other people guide you in life. You could be, you got to learn a lot from the Hindu philosophy and religion, where they're satisfied with a grain of rice. You got to get into that mode. Chris Duffy was one of my early idols, actually, before he became too off the charts.
Yeah. He got into gay porn, you know that, right?
Yes, and I saw some of his videos.
But he's a good guy. I know.
He's not a cookie cutter, but he's just from a football player, great lifter, to I don't know what, but he was into the Bhagavad Gita, which you have to have the self-control, and you have to look at life as, a lot of people look at it as like the cookie cutter. Oh, you're going to have a good job, you're going to get a pension, go on vacation, that's life. Now people are...
For now, I think we should just celebrate his life, remember him for the great bodybuilder that he was.
I'm Dave Palumbo. Products.
Once again, way too many of these tribute, obituary type videos that I've had to do over the last several years. Evidently, from the information I had, he was training in his gym, in his garage. I think he was training a client, and he dropped. And there obviously has not been an autopsy done, so I don't want to really report a cause of death. I mean, I heard some rumors out there about blood clots and the like, but until I get confirmation from his family. And he was working this off season very hard. His last, I think, 212 show was last summer, where he wanted to try to prove once again that he can get to the Olympia. Yeah, the third time in another class. For now,
football player, great lifter to I don't know what, but he was into the Bhagavad Gita, which you have to have the self-control, and you have to look at life as, a lot of people look at it as like the cookie cutter, oh, you're going to have a good job, you're going to get a pension, go on vacation, that's life. Now, people are miserable. You have to accept pain and challenges of life like you do.
Yeah, no,
Cops are there, it's like, oh, this is great. Tragedy, everyone's going to die, car accidents, whatever life throws at you, you got to accept the good with the bad.
Right.
And learn to tolerate pain and do uncomfortable things like Tom Platz used to do, get into uncomfortable situations, Arnold.
Now, having said that, and the reason I'm asking you this is because you are a role model now. When you see that you're now facing some health situations, obviously that can theoretically shorten your life. I mean, you could have a heart attack. I mean, the risk factors associated with what you're doing, putting on excessive amounts of weight, the performance-enhancing drugs. Do you say to yourself, you know what, maybe this is not what I need to be doing. Maybe I should be taking a different approach, showing these guys that, yeah, I was the biggest guy, put it out there, I was on stage, I was who I was out there, but now maybe I got to recreate myself because I have another role, another job, another calling from above. I'm going to be a role model for people. Right. And in order to do that, you have to kind of be responsible, which sucks.
Do you think Trump will attack Iran today or at least very soon? Is he just bluffing so that he can surprise them like he did with the B-2 bombers? Will you go Iran if there is a regime change?
Stand with Iran. The U.S. has got sizable military assets. We have a lot of ships going that direction, just in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction, and we'll see what happens. We have a big force going toward Iran. I'd rather not see anything happen, but we're watching them very closely. 837, mostly young men, were going to be hung on Thursday. And I said, if you hang those people, you're going to be hit harder than you've ever been hit. It'll make what we did to your Iran nuclear look like peanuts. And an hour before this horrible thing was going to take place, they canceled it. And they actually said they canceled it. They didn't postpone it. They canceled it. So that was a good sign. But we have a...
I don't know if the boats are a diversion. They may very well be. But I don't know. It seems unlikely given Trump's stance on Iran before. And, fact that they're bothering to bring U.S. carriers there. Seems like they're probably going to blow Iran to shit. Thanks for the donation, though, G.
Sucks, I know that, because we all don't want to have to grow up, so to speak.
But looking back, I think it might be to the usage of PGCL, maybe some food poisoning, which caused severe dehydration and rhabdo. And I was double dosing on the pre-workouts, throwing in some phentermine. That's not good.
No, but this behavior, the drug use leads to that. Because you take the Tren, you can't sleep, you take a Xanax,
I don't do that.
Then you get a pain, you take a Percocet.
One thing I'll tell you, I do not recommend anybody do alcohol or painkillers, ever. The worst things for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, they're on the medicinal marijuana bandwagon. I know certain people that like to indulge in that, and that's fine with them, but to me, it's a cookie cutter thing.
Why are you looking over to the side over there?
Maybe a Freudian slip in a certain way.
This is green. Yeah.
A non-verbal Freudian slip. I'm guilty, but...
JP Donny Tiller's literal retard.
These guys are watching footage of animals suffering and dying in farms and slaughterhouses, and they find it hilarious.
What was going on?
Some parts were very funny.
Which bits?
Blood was around.
Yeah.
It really made me hungry.
So when I see an apple, it doesn't make me laugh. So what exactly was funny about the food in your eyes?
They were playing with them. Then a man would come and he would swipe them like boom.
Yeah, it's too bad you can't just blow them away. I hope I get any Shiki powers. I can just blow people's heads open with my mind. Those people are scum and need to be exterminated. Thanks for the donation, JP.
I stay away from that because everybody jumping on the bandwagon. And to me, I think it's a demotivator.
Well, I have to ask you this because this is the most asked question that I got that I should ask you is, why is your midsection so large? I know you take pride in it, but why do you think it is?
Well,
is that
if you take a tape measure to it, it's a lot smaller than it was when I was 450 pounds before I ever used HGH, IGF, or Humulin, Novolin Rs, or Humalogs. It started getting big because I started overeating. I went on the Tony Mandarich diet in Sports Illustrated. You know, saw, whoa.
You know, Tony Mandarich is a bodybuilding photographer now. Did you know
Yes,
that?
we need to get him on here. I want to meet him.
I've had
Whoa,
him on.
look at that freak. Look at that back. What a freak.
So I think that with the right nutritionals, the right supplementation, the right exercise, that you can reduce that midsection down and that you can get it under control. Because I think if you want to get bigger, right? You want to get bigger because you want to be the biggest guy on stage. What if you reduce your midsection by 10 inches, you would look 100 pounds bigger probably on stage.
Dave, I don't know if that could be done because it's solid now. I do nothing for my abdominals.
Well, I think we can. I'm gonna show you the secret techniques.
I would appreciate. You know, I said this for years. We've given advice from local bodybuilders, whatever, guys that won trophies. But I said, and I even talked to Andrew Kalura about this. I want to get advice from a guy that was a freak, like Dave Palumbo, the Marcus Rules. You know, that type.
I think
and
we
I'm
should
glad I met you.
Let's get a tape measure on you.
Okay.
We'll measure it off camera and we'll document it. And then I'm going to give you a bunch of exercises and supplements to take, detoxification things to do to your body. And I think we can get that midsection down 10 inches. I'm saying right on the head, 10 inches.
Another concern I wanted to ask you, am I injecting things that I could inject to other areas that would avoid, because people have told me being off, you know, I probably need insulin, honestly, and actually my blood sugar count is high. And
How high?
I think I made myself dependent on it.
Right. How high is your blood sugars?
Again, cookie cutter terms, blood pressure, but I was told it's high.
Blood sugar.
I don't know, but it was considered very high, the A1C.
All right, we got to take it.
But I just want to know, am I injecting things in the wrong place?
Doesn't matter where you inject it. You can inject in your stomach, it doesn't matter. It's going into your body.
But I'm talking about as far as my people have not commented, your stomach seems to be going down a lot.
Right.
And it's my food intake's more than normal.
Right.
But it's because I'm not injecting the
but the drugs don't
big
stay
three.
local. Yeah, but you can do it in your shoulder.
Is physique achievable on a vegan diet? I mean, in theory.
It wouldn't matter.
But why is the stomach down now? Is it because of the
Because
orals?
you're off the drugs and you're not retaining as much fluid.
So you think, and I think too, that the orals cause a lot of that.
Well, you might have an enlarged liver. I'm saying there's a
I
lot
do.
of...
I was told that, yeah.
okay,
A large heart, large liver, which is normal.
Well, it's not normal. It's normal. Maybe,
I mean, for a certain
maybe you
size
see it in
person.
bodybuilders. I think that we need to address some of your... We got to detox you. That since you're off now anyway, I think it's a good time.
No, I'm on. I actually went on yesterday.
Oh, you did? Okay. Do you
It's my bulk cycle.
Aren't you concerned because you really didn't address any of the problems that led to your initial heart issue? You're doing the same things
Well,
again.
another question.
They say the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over, expecting a different
But it
outcome.
worked. I was a monster there. I think.
Yeah, but it worked. You also had a heart attack.
Yeah, but that was during the pre-contest phase with the phentermines and the. I think actually.
I thought you don't do painkillers.
No, phentermine, the stimulant, was an appetite.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't. Whoa. But the thing is, what's up with those nipples? I need help with that too. But the DNP, I think, used correctly, is a very safe fat.
No, I don't think it. I think it's very dangerous, actually. Yeah, I tend to disagree. The problem with DNP, and I've said this before, is that the LD50, which is the lethal dose of it, okay, is very, very close to the effective dose. So if you go a little too much, you could have some serious problems, obviously.
Right.
Do you know what Gummy's life was like before you rescued him? Also, what's your favorite part about Gummy's personality?
Some old lady found him in her backyard, and she took him in. She already had 3 other cats, but they were bullying him. So she created a little safe space for him in another room or part of the house. And it seems like she really cared about him. When she gave him up to me, she gave him like his toys and stuff. He had a nightlight. She thought Gummy didn't like it when it was totally dark and he was scared of the dark, so she got him a nightlight. So Seemed like she cared about him a fair bit. It's just that with her other cats, she couldn't keep him. And she was, like, really sad to let him go. He is a really, really special kitty. Like, he is gigantic and just beautiful. So, you know, I think he's doing better here. I think the favorite part of his personality is he's just so cuddly. I love how he's just really affectionate and loves to cuddle. I love cuddle cats. He likes cuddling and watching cartoons with me. It's really nice. Love watching cartoons with kitties. Thanks for the donation, JP.
And you get ripped anyway. You don't need to do those crazy drugs to get ripped.
Well, that's how I got ripped.
Oh, but maybe you should just diet harder. You're not afraid of pain.
I think I'm not eating enough pre-contest. That's why my legs dwindle away. For a guy my size, I don't think I'm eating enough.
Yeah, well, it depends. Have you measured your legs before and after? A lot of times people think they have more muscle in their body than they really do.
Yeah, legs are tricky, being taller too, but my calves are hopeless, but I'm going to ask you a few tricks on that.
Yeah, we can fix those up. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think the best bodybuilder of all time was, in your mind?
Who would I want to look like?
Give me, who do you like to look like, and who do you think is the best bodybuilder?
I actually like Nasser of 1998 and Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
The best all time is hands down Ronnie Coleman.
Okay. Did Phil Heath deserve to win the Olympia this past year? No. Who would
he
you
was
have
a
had?
smaller, big Ramy. He was a smaller, softer.
Is Ontario going to be the coldest place in the world tomorrow? Fuck. Yeah, isn't it supposed to get down to like -18 or something stupid? Oh, fuck, dude. The weather just can suck my ass. Let me see. What is this horse shit? Says -11 for me, -34 at nighttime. And then it's just going to be a cold-ass week. Then -18, -18, -12, -8, -12, -15. Suck my dick. Oh my god. We just have to get through this in February, and then it's going to start warming up. But, like, dude, suck my ass.
You know, he doesn't have that hard, dense look. Some people call him the Marshmallow Man.
Who do you think? What do you think about these social media stars nowadays, like Louis Marco, Vegan Gains?
They're good, but you know, it's
are they cookie cutters?
Most of the same approach. You know, you can tell right off the bat whether they're cookie cutter.
How do you identify them as cookie cutter?
By what they're wearing, how they speak, bro, this and that. You know. You know,
I don't think I say bro that much.
Obviously the tattoos, which, you know.
I don't think I had a tattoo at this point.
I mean, once you have them, there's nothing you can do about it. I know Brad tells me all the time he wish he never got one, but.
I never said that.
If you had unlimited.
Never fucking said that.
You don't like tattoos?
My father had a tattoo of a lightning bolt on his calf. And you know what he told me? He said he just did that when he played football because it probably made people think he was faster as a defensive end. He said, let me tell you something, boy. He says, you know, I actually got an earring which lasted about an hour until I came home for dinner. He said, you want to get noticed? He goes, get yourself a pair of 20-inch muscular arms. He goes, it takes guts. He goes, any 2-year-old girl could slather herself with tattoos. Any 2-year-old girl could take a gun and shoot somebody. It's not a Freudian slip either, but pretty much, yeah. I mean, unless you get one of those military tattoos or something like that.
A lot of people might say that your beard is cookie cutter now because everyone seems to be having beards nowadays.
You could say that, but it's just the fact that I don't like shaving on a daily basis, and I'd rather use them for my body. Because in Florida, whether it's a bodybuilder or not, you need to shave.
Right.
You're 10 degrees cooler, and I get real hairy.
Right, but you're already shaving everything else. Why not the beard?
It doesn't affect your heat. I would call it the way the heat lifts from your body. It has nothing to do with the temperature of your body, your facial hair.
Now, people have asked me also, how did your teeth get so white?
Well, thanks to my father, I've never drank a soda in my life. I drank coffee. I've never drank iced tea. I could probably say I'm one of the few people on this earth that has drank more urine than soda.
More urine than soda? Really? Wow.
Yeah,
do you like the taste of urine?
During certain times and certain occasions.
Yeah. What is the I guess you could say the sexual enticement there of drinking urine?
Well, you know, when you go out and you really you're really hopped up, or when I was a young man before I was on heavy cycles, when I got on a heavy cycle, what I always used to say, and I spoke with my old training partner, Andrew Calora, I say, Andrew, you want to go out and you recognize it's a sin, you're fornicating, but you want to go out and do the dirtiest, sleaziest thing you can. Get it out of your system for a few months. Go back to training, and when you really get the urge, go and do it all out to where you're almost, you know, soaked in sweat. You find something you really gets you off, wherever she may come from, and get out of your system. Don't justify it and say that's okay, or say that's my girlfriend. You know, because it's not. There's no commitment there. It's just you want to go out and get off.
Good. What do you think about these, like, the perverts, like this? I don't know if you've been following this gymnastics doctor who's
Larry Nasser.
Yeah, who abused all the women.
Gymnasts. Are they dead? Are they disfigured?
No.
No, there's no abuse.
Oh, you don't think that's abuse? That's a very
if there was abuse.
Oh my God. Dude, one of the girl's fathers killed himself because he couldn't handle the guilt of sending his daughter to that doctor.
That girl would have kicked him in the nuts and scratched his eyes out.
Well, maybe.
Don't tell me a young gymnast can't beat that flabby old man up. They're all coming forward with their sob stories. As you can see, Scott Baio was just accused this morning by Megyn Kelly. Of course, he's a Donald Trump supporter.
Right.
Get that the hell out of here. They tried that stuff on me years ago. My next door neighbor accused me of that at the house I was living at, and the cops came. I said, if I wanted to look at her, I'd go to the Metro Zoo and look at some monkey. And he laughed, claiming that I'm looking through her window, when it turns out it was my pervert ex-con roommate.
Oh, it was. So there was someone
who had a peeping Tom history in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can see why the parents might be upset.
Right. I don't want to hear sexual harassment. I do not want to hear stalking. Now, sexual assault is another thing.
Okay.
I never put my hand on a woman, ever.
All right. So you don't think
unless she does it first. Believe me, I put my hands on her. Some of those Haitian co-workers could attest to in the past. But I've been celibate quite a bit.
Right.
So, and in a way, that's good. You get that sexual transmutation, you know?
Do you want to get married eventually and have kids?
Absolutely. I need to.
Right. What?
Absolutely.
Don't you have to start working on yourself, though, to do that?
Financially, yes. Because I will not put into that sewer system called a public school with the brainwashing.
Well, maybe you can homeschool.
I don't like homeschooling because, again,
Big
you're
Lenny
keeping your
is
kid
dead.
coddled. I spoke to Brad on that, too. You want to get your kid in there because you want to tell them, you know, look, these are all people who are this. We're going to tell you. But the pub, they brainwash you. That whole commie program has been going on for 50 years where they talk about, oh, black history, white man's bad, the Native Americans are good, you know, there's child abuse going on, men are sexual harassment. I don't want to hear that garbage. There's sexual assault and there's nothing else. Man pursuing women or whatever. And if people can't realize that, you know, you're on the wrong planet. And I will not accept that. Another thing, maniacs, you tell them, you're better off going to jail than going to hell. Because there is a hell, it may or may not be literal, with fire.
Yeah, Lenny died on 10/10, which is hilarious.
Can we just take a quick break from the video reactions for a second to acknowledge how adorable Gummy is on your lap, RN? I have never seen such a cute cat before. He is a beautiful soul.
Yes, he is. He's a beautiful, handsome boy, and I love him so much. Just so sweet and handsome. Oh, I love this little baby. Thanks for the donation, JP.
But
have you been in jail?
Overnight things, it was total disgrace.
I got 6 posts about me on the T app. Women are evil. Jeez, it's fucking retarded.
Race.
Right.
Baby, guys come in acting like they're thugs or whatever. It's just a babysitting service. You know, actually, they brought me to jail for ordering Diana Ball, big crime from Thailand. They did a 30-man seizure at that. I was living with an older couple whose son was an ex-con in prison at the time. They took a SWAT team in, over 1,000 D-ball.
Well, look at you. I mean, they probably were nervous.
Yeah, I was 370 at the time. Yeah,
they sent 3 cops over here to my house.
They said 20 with shields.
And they got you on the ground?
It's terrifying, yeah.
Guns pulled and everything?
Absolutely.
Really? You didn't resist, did you?
No, I was laying on the ground. I could feel my heart beating. And they tried to handcuff me, and one of the agents, oh, I can't cuff him. Is that what steroids do?
What was this?
1997, December 27th.
Wow. So they brought you. What happened? What was the outcome?
Well, they obtained a search warrant because I was living in an ex-con's home.
Okay.
And he had a history of smoking crack. Actually, he assaulted a cop. But his parents were nice. They were Southern from Tennessee. And I worked with the guy. And I figured he's in prison. I don't have to deal with him. So.
Right.
And I paid my rent on time. They liked me there. You know. But, you know.
So you had Diana sent to the house?
At the time, you had the old stop sign, pink Diana balls.
From Thailand, yeah.
Knocked on the door, and their other son was staying there, and he accepted it or whatever, put it on my bed, and I was sitting there, I couldn't believe this came in. It said, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas from Thailand.
Right.
And I called Mike P on the phone, who was in one of the podcasts, and I said, Mike, I can't believe it's in. And all of a sudden, they smashed the door down. He heard a commotion. I dropped the phone. The dog ran the bathroom.
Oh, this is hilarious.
The one son, I could see him because you have a picture in the hallway, and I could see the reflection. He's just swinging on him. I don't know what the hell for.
Oh,
and they pummeled him to the ground. He's throwing these roundhouse rights. They threw the old lady out of the wheelchair. The old man threw him down. And they're walking like this. You could hear them going, doot, doot.
So
in a line of 6 into my bedroom. So I got on the ground. I could literally feel my heart beating. I'm like, what the fuck?
All over some Diana.
Brought me up, and he's like, all right, we want names right now because you're looking at 5 years for possession. That's a felony.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it? I saw it from Thailand. I saw it in a magazine. You know, it was like a muscle builder, it was called, a little newsletter. And he says, what else, other names do you have? Is there any stuff? I said, yeah, but some other stuff in there. So, and he said, why did you take this? Well, I said, I want to get bigger. I want to be a pro wrestler. And they looked at me, and they looked at my record, and I was like, oh, shit. And they had these two fat ladies.
So they thought they found some kind of kingpin or something like that.
Yeah, and they counted the pills. Actually, it was 996.
Oh, this is so funny. He orders steroids from Thailand through a fucking bodybuilding magazine. And then the cops break down his door as soon as he gets it. Calls his friend. You won't believe what just came in. The cops break down the door and they think they arrested a drug kingpin. Oh, it's so funny.
6, they ripped me off. I was 4 shorts. And they took me up to Gun Club Road.
Maybe the brother took it.
Right, well, they found from the brother he had crack cocaine on his Coke cans, residue that he had sitting in the recycling thing. They put that on the list because they had the search warrant.
Right.
And I had shit like, what was that called? Called Ralgro?
Yeah.
I had a cartridge of that shit they put on there.
That's some nasty stuff.
Yeah, like I never had to try it. Took me out of the house, bare-chested. The old lady in cuffs. Then they had a helicopter above the house. Actually, the neighbors were looking, and the old lady shouted out, "Are you gonna put a shirt on him?" And the guy's like, "I'm a major." She goes, "With that long hair," you know, they're in disguise.
Yeah.
So they took me up to the jail, and when I'm sitting there in a holding room with 50 guys, you see all these thugs, you know, what's coming in. And they had a payphone, right? Yeah. And I was 370 pounds at the time. And there's guys, white guys or whatever, would get on the phone, and they were called bail bondsmen or a relative. On 30 seconds, you're, "Get the hell off the phone, cracker! I need to use the phone." So I figured, oh, I better call my mother, you know, and tell her what's going on. I was on that phone for a half an hour. I didn't hear a peep.
No?
Out of those so-called thugs.
Why, they were afraid of you?
Apparently, in one of the corrections officers, he's never seen anybody on the phone that long. And you wonder why. All those
Have you had fights in your time?
I've had guns pulled on me. In Florida, nobody really wants to fight.
Right.
I've challenged people to fights.
Did you have a fight, I understand, with some guy backstage at a show? Some kind of like martial art guy or something like that?
Well, you know, he was running his mouth saying, "Oh, you bitches." He's a Cuban. It was at the southern states. Actually, Andrew Kalura was there in my weight class. And he's like, "Oh, you bitches are going to cry when I beat you on stage." I said, "You know what?" I says, people want to see a fight. I'll fight you on stage right now. I said, "I'll knock your fucking teeth down your throat." Then he started saying,
why is the 10-10 thing funny? It's because Big Lenny was into black trannies, and he had a term called tan 1010. So he was looking for a girl who was tan, black, with 10 out of 10 good looks and a 10-inch penis. He really liked big dicks. And then he ended up dying on 1010, which is very ironic.
Saying, I'm from Cuba. I said, yeah, I love to beat the hell out of a communist. And he didn't have the guts to fight, which what the people wanted. I can't remember his name, some nobody. He won the shows, all those old nobodies. You know, that's what the people want to see. And you know what? If I lose a fight, guess what? That's motivation to come back and train.
There you go. There you go. All right, so let's see where we're at this point. You're going forward with your plan. You're going back all the gear. You're back on the gear. You're going to try to bulk up again.
I will bulk up.
And when are you going to compete again?
At the end of September, the Ruby. Now, I don't know if Diana's having her contest anywhere. She's not.
So there's no way I could talk you out of this.
Talk me out?
Yeah.
Dave, I thought you were going to help me become a freak.
I'm going to help you be a healthy freak. How about that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Now, 2 critical questions I
Yes.
have you, and please
Yes.
give me an honest answer.
Yes.
Is the blood pressure medicine going to affect my muscle growth in any way?
I think that you could be on a better blood pressure medication.
Such as?
I think you could, but although I don't know what your arrhythmia status is, I'd have to, talk to your doctor or something like that. Because if you have an arrhythmia, they like to put you on beta blockers because it lowers your heart rate down a little bit.
So that's not considered a blood pressure, it's a beta block. Okay.
It's a beta blocker, but it will lower your pressure a little bit. But I find that most bodybuilders do well on ACE inhibitors. They're pretty much side effect free.
Is lisinopril one of them?
Yes, lisinopril. You on that?
No.
Okay, that's something that's good. That, ramipril, something like that is a good blood pressure med.
Okay.
Because blood pressure will destroy your kidneys, high blood pressure. So you don't want that. Is your
Even
kidney
with-
function high?
I drink, and people don't believe this, I do drink about 4 to 5 gallons of water per day.
Well, they say that's not actually good if you have some kidney issues because it makes the kidneys work even harder. So you don't want to overdrink.
I tell you what, I'm having problems now. I'm peeing a lot.
Well, because you're drinking 4 gallons a day.
No, I mean being off.
What?
I'm peeing a lot.
Because you're probably getting rid of a lot of toxins now.
Especially at night.
Yeah, I pee
And
a
I'm
lot.
constipated. I'm also taking Xarelto, a blood thinner, where they say is mandatory for atrial fibrillation.
Yeah.
They claim I refuse to take it, and they claim that's why I had it again, because I didn't take the meds. Any insight on that as to whether it's going to hurt my muscle?
Well,
veins?
evidently it appears that you still do have an arrhythmia issue.
Right.
Did they recommend that you get a defibrillator put in at all?
Not yet. He's assessing my status. He says it's getting better. Of course, when he goes back and I'm on gear, even the blood pressure medication, I'm sure it's going to be a high level.
Yeah, well, you probably don't want to take really high androgens because that probably can incite the arrhythmia a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but how am I going to grow?
Well, I mean, you could grow with testosterone. You don't need to be taking Trenbolone like through the roof.
Well, pre-contest. What about?
Well, we have to talk, Lenny.
Actually, I started implementing pre-workout methyltrianolone injections. Have you had any experience with that? I know they call it Super Trend.
Yeah.
It's very toxic. I'm using 1/10 of a milliliter. of
Why
insulin.
are you doing that though?
Pre-workout.
What? You're not strong enough already?
I'm not big enough. I'm not really concerned about strength at this age.
Right.
Just the size, which of course you need the strength, you need the tension.
They come together. Yeah. I mean, if you got to exhaust that muscle.
Right.
Are you a believer in high volume, or are you a low volume guy?
Probably too much low volume and high intensity. What would you, over your experience, what would you say is the sweet spot? Do you think the 2 work set, which Greg Kovacs followed, and I learned a lot from Fakri Mubarak. I'd like to thank him for his, where he said take 2 sets to absolute failure in that
I
sweet
agree.
spot range.
I
You
agree.
don't think when you go to 3 or 4, you're really
Yeah, you're kind of going through the motions.
Right.
Very cookie cutter. If you ask me,
okay.
So
Which Arnold was ultimate cookie cutter routine.
Well, Arnold, they thought the longer you train, the better. And that was.
Of course, he was heavy into the Diana ball.
Right, but he was also 225 on stage.
Exactly.
So, I mean, he wasn't a massive guy.
Exactly.
All right, what do you got below the chair there? I see you got a bag with something in it.
Oh, yes. I have some gifts. I'm sorry about your recent addition. I have some gifts for you, Amanda, and Logan. Yours,
Big Lenny shirt.
yours is the extra large. And if
Perfect.
on the back it says just needs mopped, and you know what the story is behind that.
No, tell us what just needs mopped means.
Well, when people tell me my place is so disgusting, well, if you just needs mopped, it would look great.
Yeah, you say that.
So the way you've been feeding Logan, I'm sure this probably, well, actually might be too small for him, the way he's growing.
These are actually good quality shirts too. They're not the cheapies.
Yeah, and they're very breathable. You can thank Brad and Andrew for that.
Can I? Is this a large? This one?
There's one extra large and two
Small.
smalls.
No, it's one XL, one small. Oh, one small.
Two small. And one for Logan too.
Maybe we can get Tyler into one of these. I think Tyler really is looking at this. This is a pretty big small. This must be a big Lenny small because this thing looks like it'll fit. All right, thank you. Well, I have some gifts for you, but I'm going to give you more when we leave. But I have one here. Let me see where did I put the shirt. I think I might have tossed it when I got excited about the cops coming. Oh, here it is. We have an official old school, because I know you're old school. RX Muscle Triple X. We don't have 4X for you, but you're not up there yet anyway. That's
no, these are the old days. Actually, this is a 5X, but I'm going to grow into it. Thanks a lot, Dave. I appreciate it.
What are you shooting for, 6X? You know, the biggest shirt and sweatshirt I've ever seen anyone wear was by Max Charles, believe it or not. He has a 7X sweatshirt.
What?
Yeah. He's pretty big.
He's Haitian, too.
He is Haitian, yeah.
7X. He's only, what, 5'10"?
Yeah. The shirt is like down to his knees, but he fills out the upper part of it.
I heard that he eats Haitian food with very little protein and drinks soda. And eats 1 meal a day.
Yeah,
is that true?
I don't agree. I think he might have done that initially, but I think now he kind of understands what he has to do, so I think he's eating better now.
Yeah, they do have good genetics once they're given the correct foods.
Lenny, if you had to give a message out to the RX Muscle audience, you know, if you had to look at them and give them a message, give us a Lenny word of wisdom to take us out of this interview.
Well, you have to find, you look around, keep your eyes open until you find that goddess, as I have done in Christina Broccolini.
Hold on, before we end, what's with this Christina Broccolini? First of all, who is she and why are you so obsessed with her?
Who is she? Well, she was on a show called Mystery Hunters. I saw her on MeTV 2 years ago, just while I was eating a
Oh my God. When he was 48, he was jerking off to like a fucking 16-year-old on YTV. This was her. That was her on Mystery Hunters. She had to have been fucking underage. What in the hell? I thought like he found out about her when she was an adult or something.
Pre-workout meal.
You're handless here.
Mystery
They
Hunters.
don't want to hear the story anymore.
It's like, if you remember the old In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy.
Right.
It's like that for kids, but it's also good for adults.
Right.
And when I saw her, my
It is not good for adults.
jaw dropped. Not only was she the most beautiful, clean, cute woman young lady I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling I got from her was unlike anything other. Pure, yeah, there she is on the top. Whoa!
Would you want her to have your kids? Would you marry her?
That would almost be too much to, oh, look at that face. Pure Italian from Munch. Isn't she gorgeous? And it's not a sexual thing. It's,
that looks like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, they mix things in there, but it's just, that's not her either, but there she is. Just that Italian, gorgeous, and I pray for her every night, and I watch her, and she's actually made me take the hate out. There's no hate. I don't hate anybody.
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I'm very colorblind, too. I like to use the terms to teach people, look, the old saying, sticks and stones will break your bones,
Dude, he's literally fucking nuts.
The rest. People getting offended and using that R word, racism, which means nothing. Can you define it? You can't. It's impossible to define, and you couldn't say any human being ever was one. And I'm tired of people saying that. It just, when somebody insults you like that, take it for what it is. Laugh at it or take it as motivation.
Let's say we put 50 pounds of muscle on you. 50. 50.
Well, I will put 50 on.
Okay.
Question is.
Yeah. Let's say we do. How do you think you'll do well in competition? 50 pounds heavier?
To do well in competition is being the biggest, the hardest, most ripped guy on that stage. And that's where men's bikini or physique, whatever you want to call it, that's an intended Freudian slip. Everybody's a cookie cutter. The way they pose, wearing shorts. What kind of garbage is that? And then see bodybuilders say they want to do that, say they'll never against it, and you turn and you see them doing it 2 years later. I'd rather do this than be in men's bikini. Koth, Andrew. And you go and do it. What is that anyway? They all look the same. Does anybody look like Palumbo? Very few. He was a freak. Look at those pictures. He showed it. I was talking about the injury. He was never meant to be that. And I said, well, that's where Dave came in. He wasn't meant to be that either.
Right.
And he became one of the biggest freaks ever. And they say, this so-and-so race is better. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's because they eat correctly.
Right.
And sad to say, they're eating correctly on a taxpayer dime, which I'm getting a little sick of.
There's a lot of people on disability, right, out there.
Phony
nowadays.
disabilities,
Yeah.
food stamps. I mean, we're actually taking money out of mine, our checks, so they can sit on their ass and fornicate. And then we got to pay for it. You're better off feeding cockroaches for what they do. They're nothing but a drain on the system.
What's the most you've ever masturbated in one day?
Actually, it was to Flex magazine in the 80s.
Oh, really? To who?
Kay Baxter, Carla Dunlap,
Oh, you
Rachel
like-
McLeish.
Okay, and how many times a day would that be back in the day?
When I was 15, I didn't know what it was
cute.
until I was 16. I was
Right.
having wet dreams. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I would say I was 16. It was the Flex magazine. The one with Kay Baxter doing calf raise with a nasty look on her face.
Right.
Oh, it was great. And of
What's the
course,
record?
Carla Dunlap. But now I can't even do it.
Oh, you can't? You're impotent?
Well, you know, on the trend, you have a fucking heart attack. I excuse the language.
So you just abstain from it?
I can't win. You know, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously another thing of something I believe in, which is as good as bad points, but not so much bad, is Phenibut, which is a precursor to GHB. I'm actually on it now.
Yeah. Is that why you're so calm right now?
I think it has the opposite effect, but you can't masturbate on that. I mean, you
can't.
get turned on, but nothing happens.
Gotcha. So
So-
is that good for you? You think it helps you stay focused on the bodybuilding more?
No, it increases your sex drive through the roof.
Okay.
And
So isn't that bad? Isn't that you have the high sex drive, but you can't do anything about
you got to
it?
transmute it. You got to take it towards the gym.
Okay.
But of course, you know, I could feel it already, the test kicking in, looking at everything. And, you know, sad to say out here, you don't have any tan 10-10s. There's a bunch of, you know, old,
Explain that to him what that means. What's a 10-10-10?
well, a tan 10-10 is a black girl that's a 10 facially, physically, with a 10.
With a 10 what?
10 inch.
So you like? Oh, so that's a transsexual.
It's a love-hate thing.
Right.
It's a high test thing.
Have you found?
He loves it.
So you like black women with a beautiful face that are actually men?
They're not men. They're women with a male. They're total women. Any hint of masculine? Come on, Dave. You know what I'm talking about. You're from New York. Back in the day. Come on, Dave.
Sorry, I can't relate on this level to you.
Dave, you're not being honest. You probably put me to shame. I was in a sexaholic
battery level low
thing, and I was like, they told me to leave.
Yeah.
I was at a Sexaholics Anonymous meeting once, and they told me to get out.
Why? Because you were negatively influencing the other people there?
No, they told me I was fine.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, from what I was hearing.
Yeah.
They told me I was get out of here.
Well, your problem is you just don't have a lot of androgens. I think that's the problem, right?
When I was young, I got into it, but you know, that's the thing with pornography. It's very bad. Everybody that looks at all right muscle turns to that in the meantime, and don't say you don't because you're a liar. And Dave, you look at it from time to time, things pop up.
So now you are into the trannies, huh? What if you fell in love with what if you fell in love with one of these? Would you get married to one of these trannies?
I theoretically.
Fat doesn't lift the weight. Muscles do. Slow cut is the way. You'd maybe stop fainting doing a rep on OHP. LLLLLLLLLU. Arrah. You. Arrah. 7,777,777 mock Mike you're not fit boo hoo.
All right, thanks for the donation keyboard.
I could, but it would be wrong.
Right.
But some of them are just so feminine, so passive.
Right, but would you have anal sex with them?
I can't. I'm not a receiver. I'm not physically.
But would you administer? Would you be the giver?
It's really not about that. I mean, it's about, you know, oral and hands and tongues and fingers and feet.
All right.
And armpits.
All right. Well, Lenny, I appreciate you being honest with us today, coming here, addressing the fans, telling us what you're up to. I still think that, you know, we got to really address some of these health issues with you, because I think you have a lot to contribute to the bodybuilding and fitness world. to the world in general. And I think that I'd like to see you around a lot longer.
Yes, and I'd like to see Andrew Kalura's butt right here next year.
I will bring him down here too. You know what it is? I don't want you to be a piano statistic. You know, I don't want to be eulogizing you on my radio show.
But Dave, whether you're here for a millisecond or 40 years, it's all relative. We'll be together in eternity.
Right, but don't you have a lot to contribute still to the world? You finally made it. You're finally a star now. Don't you want
Hey,
to?
I made it the moment I said to myself, I'm not going to do what these, I'm going to listen to what my father said and not do what the average person does. I'm going to set my sights, like you said, with the Roger Bannister.
Right.
You set your sights so high that now everyone can be a freak.
Right.
Now everyone went in the opposite direction. You got the Planet Fitnesses, which me riding a bike means I how to use it. Luckily I got free weights on my patio. I can scream and yell. And they're trying to turn everyone into a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And that's what the NPC, promoting that all for money. So you cookie cutter nobodies, you look at a guy like me and wonder why I got, and you might be jealous. Well, that's why I'm not a cookie cutter. You figure it out yet?
Can you take us out with like a most muscular?
There's not much muscle here. This is the smallest you'll ever see me. Trust me. I've been clean for 3 months, 290. Look at that gut.
Can you vacuum? Oh, he's taking the
no,
shirt
I don't
off.
vacuum at all, the floor or posts.
Stand up, back up a little bit. You mop, right? Just a little mopping here and there.
It worked, not at home. Look at that flabby, disgusting, diabetic scum physique. Well, I hope you people take a good look as I'm putting myself out at my worst. You see that? And I'm dressing like some of you cookie cutters too.
All right, let's do. People want to see this. Let's do most muscular. Ready?
Dave, I think your teeth are whiter than mine.
They might be. I bleached mine. I cheated. So.
What do you bleach it with?
I just used the bleach, with trays and everything like that.
Clorox?
Lenny, my pleasure to see you.
Thanks.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, he was definitely like nuts. He had fucking problems.
It's been a long time since I paid attention.
25 investigating how Trump monetizes power. From his attacks on big law firms.
Big law firm, smart law firm.
To taking major payoffs for his inauguration. To a crypto scam helping his family rake in billions of dollars. Every time I think I'm done with these stories, I get pulled back in. Today, I want to show you one of the most important and least understood mechanisms that he uses to do it. It involves these gold things on Trump's desk. That's a $130,000 gold bar and a gold Rolex desk clock. But it also involves a $5 million donation from an obscure meatpacking company. It involves American automakers and plastic bottlers and the biggest tech companies in the world. There is a quid pro quo system embedded directly into Trump's core economic policies, because this is partially a story about tariffs.
I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country.
The tariffs that were supposed to usher in a new American golden age. The ones that are constantly being hiked, then rolled back, renegotiated, and killed entirely.
All you have to do is make it in the United States. We don't need it from another country.
It's pretty hard to follow the logic of Trump's trade policy. But by the end of this story, you'll have a blueprint to understand all the economic chaos you've seen in 2025, and how all this nonsense is just another mechanism for insiders to get paid.
This is the beginning of making America rich again.
I'm gonna get back to tariffs in a minute, but to fully explain this scheme, I need to dive deep into a company called Pilgrim's Pride. Pilgrim's Pride is a US-based meatpacking company that primarily processes and distributes chicken and pork. They have a long history of price fixing, working with other distributors to artificially drive up the price of poultry in the United States. In 2009, an even bigger company, JBS, bought a majority stake in Pilgrim's Pride. So for the rest of this story, when I say Pilgrim's Pride, just think JBS. They're the biggest meatpacking company in the world, which owns one of the biggest poultry processing companies in the United States.
We're a very big country. We have a lot of beef.
On January 2nd, 2025, Pilgrim's Pride donated $5 million to the Trump-Vance inaugural fund. It was their only political donation in over 20 years, and it was by far the largest they'd ever made. In fact, this was more than all the big tech companies donated, and it immediately set off alarm bells. In May, when the donation was finally made public, Senator Elizabeth Warren called it out. So the obvious question was, what were they buying? Why did they need to donate so much to Trump? Well, here's what happened next. April 2025, the Liberation Day tariffs kick in.
This is Liberation Day.
But things are about to take a turn for JBS. In June 2025, JBS gets permission from the Trump administration to go public. This is despite their links to corruption, deforestation, and bribery claims. Then, in August, JBS, remember the parent company here, they hired Miller Strategies. Miller Strategies is a MAGA-aligned lobbying firm that is staffed up with former Trump administration officials. They've got the inside line to Trump, the keys to the kingdom, and they're doing tons of business in 2025. Then, finally, in November, all of this work pays off for JBS. Trump announces huge tariff rollbacks, and he specifically eliminates all tariffs on Brazilian beef.
Trump issuing an executive order to drop reciprocal tariffs on dozens of food items, including staples like coffee, beef.
For the most part, the foods, but we cut back a little bit on those tariffs. We'll get the price down.
Now, if you were watching this on the news, it might have looked like Trump finally responding to consumer outcry on the cost of living. But I actually think this is the Rosetta Stone, the key to understanding all of Trump's trade policies, because this is the pattern. Threaten everyone with tariffs, extract payments from the few, and then quietly spare those who were loyal to you. And beef is really just the tip of the iceberg. So who else is buying US trade policy, and what are they getting?
We'll be talking about other subjects like cars. Cars is going to be a very big one.
Once you know the pattern, you really can't stop seeing it. Industries with concentrated power and political access get their exemptions. Everyone else...
Gee, you don't need $2? Let me see.
I mean, anyone who sees the footage and anyone who sees what the Mossad and others said, it's clear as day. I mean, it's ironic coming from Western media at a time when a young woman is shot in the face, and the debate in the United States is whether she was turning to the right enough to make her innocent, or she was not turning right enough, and so she was, It was fair game.
Correct.
So, and Trump obviously said, yeah, she deserved getting shot in the face. So,
as far as I know, Trump hasn't killed 20,000 protesters by just mowing them down.
In the case of the footage that you see in Tehran, these people have firearms and they're killing police officers.
Hopefully that guy gets hung once the revolution goes through. Thanks for the donation, G.
Else gets uncertainty. Look at automakers, for example.
I'm giving them a little bit of a break, right? It's called a little flexibility.
When Trump took office, even before Liberation Day, he immediately started threatening tariffs. Canada, Mexico, steel, aluminum. Places and products that are very important for making cars.
Yeah,
then a blanket 25% Liberation Day tariff on imported car parts threatened to ruin them.
It's 25% without exceptions or exemptions, and that's all countries, no matter where it comes from, all countries.
Even for cars that are assembled in the United States, a lot of the parts are shipped to auto plants in the US from other countries, meaning they were facing huge cost increases on almost every part. But the big automakers had already bought their insurance.
The Ford people I know very well. What they're doing is negotiating with us.
Ford and GM were both major Trump-Vance inaugural donors. They gave $1 million each and loaned the administration cars for celebrations. They bent the knee. So on April 2nd, Trump announced exemptions for US automakers, dropping the tariffs on most of their parts and their raw materials.
Ford has really been a leader. They've done a great job.
Liberation Day also came for big tech, just like everybody else. The sweeping tariffs would mean huge cost increases for these tech giants, who import almost all of their silicon computer chips from places like Taiwan and South Korea. But like the automakers, big tech had bought their insurance too. You probably saw their CEOs at Trump's inauguration, and most of them at this fawning dinner at the White House.
Well, thanks for hosting us. I mean, this is quite a group to get together.
What you might have missed was that they all gave $1 million each to the inaugural fund, which was ultimately a small price to pay for the tariff exemption that Trump later gave them on computer chips, which saved them billions of dollars.
Thank you. Thank you for including me. Thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president.
Plastics companies followed the same playbook. The bottler for Coca-Cola, Reyes Holdings, saw the writing on the wall with tariffs. Tariffs on their raw products means every bottle of soda increases in price.
Coca-Cola expects the tariffs will bring a significant cost increase. The White House says the tariff is meant to prevent unfair foreign trade practices.
Fortunately, Reyes Holdings is run by two brothers who were already Republican mega donors. So PET, the stuff used to make plastic bottles, falls off the list of tariffed products. Sometimes these cases are even simpler, even more clear-cut. Switzerland was facing a 39% tariff on all goods sent to the United States, a major blow to their businesses.
The US is a top export market for its pharmaceuticals, watches, machinery, and chocolate.
But what does a country like Switzerland have to negotiate with? They have narrow farm protections that have been in place for decades. I guess they could drop those. They have no tariffs on any industrial goods sent from the US, and they already have a favorable trade policy with us. Well, when you're swept up in the chaos and you don't have a policy solution to offer, sometimes...
Bro, you gotta do the Ruby. This was Dale's physique last year along with the first and second place finisher. Would be a great show to test your metal, also very minty.
Yeah, that would be minty. I feel like I could beat Dale at a show. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
Optics are enough.
The Swiss have been mounting essentially a charm offensive.
So they sent business leaders to the White House to flatter Trump, give him some gold trinkets, promise some investment, and make him feel important. So Trump dropped the tariffs to 15%.
Yes, VG. I think the Crown Prince of Iran has said that once the revolution has happened they are going to do a Nuremberg-like trial in Iran to punish the Mullahs act for all the shit they gave been up to. Have you heard about the Iran Prop 30 project?
No, haven't heard of the Iran Prosperity Project. But that's good. They should give them a Nuremberg style trial and execute them. Thanks for the donation, G.
We're going to be working on something to help Switzerland along. We hit Switzerland very hard. We want Switzerland to remain successful.
Now, it's worth pointing out, a lot of these industries are still hurt by tariffs. The major auto companies were able to get some relief, for example, but their donations didn't insulate them completely.
Ford Motor Company posting its first quarterly loss in 2 years, thanks in part to tariffs.
But let's pause for a second. Because when you zoom out from all these deals, these exemptions and carve-outs, it becomes really clear who the system is punishing. Anyone who can't buy access. One clear example of that is soybean farmers.
26,000 soybean farmers in Minnesota sent 60% of their crop overseas.
Soybeans are the perfect example of what happens when trade policy becomes a fealty system.
China, typically the biggest buyer, but not so this year. Their fall harvest order, 0.
The Liberation Day announcements almost immediately started a trade war between China and the United States. The US slapped tariffs on China. China returned the favor and stopped buying US soybeans almost entirely.
The biggest importer, China, has completely stopped buying from U.S. farmers.
For U.S. soybean farmers, China has historically been their biggest buyer. So that's catastrophic. That's nearly an entire year of your biggest market being completely closed to you. Even late into 2025, when the US and China both announced upcoming trade deals and cooling trade tensions, China kept a 13% tariff on US soybeans.
The Chinese now buy the vast majority of their soybeans from Brazil and other South American countries, including now Argentina.
For now, it looks like the damage is done, and it's long-term. Chinese buyers are looking elsewhere, primarily to Brazil, who saw their soybean exports jump 64%. But soybean farmers, they didn't make a multi-million-dollar inaugural donation. They don't have the kind of leverage that this system rewards. Their trade association, they've
Is Will Tennyson or Jesse James West worse? I'd say Will Tennyson.
been openly critical of the tariffs. They lobbied for relief, they warned about permanent market loss, but they were mostly ignored. So they don't get real relief. There's no carve-out for them. No exemption is coming. It's been exactly 1 year since Donald Trump was inaugurated, after running on a promise of rebalancing our broken trade system in favor of working-class Americans over corporations using foreign countries to rip us off. And the thing is, We do need to fix our trade imbalances and terms.
Yeah, so it's probably just all corruption.
All right, so a lot of people wanted me to go and discuss the passing of IFBB Pro Jason Lowe. I was actually going to wait until tomorrow on the live stream, but because, you know, a lot of you guys asked me about what my opinion is, I guess I'll go ahead and address it today. Now, from what I understand, he was training with a client, and next thing you know, he just drops dead, you know. That's about the most context I actually have from other people, which, you know, I was subscribed to his Instagram. You know, I saw his last training video a couple of days ago, and he seemed just fine there now. In the next couple of days, folks, I know what people are going to say. That it was the drugs that did it. He didn't make enough doctor's visits. He didn't take this. He didn't take that. He should have been on a vegan diet. You know, you're going to hear all sorts of stuff. And it's from these, you know, these social media addicts that are...
I don't think I saw the Masters of the Universe trailer. I saw the teaser. Why is it? Wasn't the full trailer supposed to be released?
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real. Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's...
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry, the sword's mine.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
My God, there's Cringer. He looks just like Gummy.
What am I supposed to...
I have no idea why they included this thing in the plot where it's like an isekai or something, and he's in the normal world, and then he gets transported to the He-Man world. Like, what does that have? Why? Just have He-Man live in He-Man world. Why do they have to do that? It's so weird.
to do? Take the sword. You protect them.
Of course, yeah. Then the worlds are going to cross over, and then they have a big fight in the normal world. Oh my god. So fucking stupid. Just have He-Man live in He-Man universe. What the fuck is the problem with that? It looks like they did Tila and that other witch bitch pretty good. Yeah, it looks cool. This guy isn't even that jacked. He should have done more steroids. Skeletor looks really cool. Yeah, it doesn't look jacked enough. Well, that's probably not going to be very good because of the dumb decisions they made with that story. It's a little disappointing. Some of the action scenes might be good, but I don't know why they basically ruined the story. Doesn't make any sense. Fuck.
I'm eating Sweet Lauren's cookie dough right now. Whoever that woman is deserves some deep pleasurable cunnilingus for making this delicious stuff. You are 77 sextillion 777 quintillion 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million 777,777.
I really like their lower sugar version. I find the normal ones are too sweet. But their low in sugar ones are really good. Those are perfect. Man, cookie dough is just great. I think before I diet again in like March, I'll have some cookie dough. No, He-Man didn't have any Nazi undertones in the original cartoon. Had a lot of gay undertones. Apparently, the guy who developed it was bisexual and he was into the gay community. That's why Prince Adam wears that like weird gay outfit with the pink tights and the pink shirt. And there's some cross-dressing in the show.
Love you, Mr. Gaines.
Well, thank you, Crockett Tortoise. I very much appreciate that. I'm pretty zooted. Oh, yeah.
Right now. All right, and the final update I got for you guys is a physique update by Milos Sarcev at the age of 62, guys. 62 years old. Now, as far as
Yeah, bro. This guy's been on 500 milligrams of test for 30 years. Seems like testosterone does a body good.
I know, I watched the Madness podcast. Milos spoke about how he did a hip surgery recently, a hip replacement surgery, and he's able to train now again. He's doing legs as well. And recently he talked about how he trained chest every single day for a long time, for quite a while, because the guy just loves training and he loves training the chest, so why not? And here you can actually see the freaking results. He looks phenomenal for 62 years of age. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, he's not showing his arms ever. He's always wearing those long sleeve shirts. I don't know why, because when he takes his progress photos, they always look great. He says he ruined them with Synthol, but I don't know, man. Like, maybe they look a little bit weird, but not weirder.
That's interesting to know he took Synthol. That's surprising, too, that he looks like he's in such great shape at 62 if he was taking Synthol. That Synthol stuff seems to be a huge cause of people's health issues. Yeah, Milos Sarcev was just fucking crazy. Yeah, but, oh, testosterone, such a dangerous drug. Yeah, you don't want to take it.
Than any other top pros.
Then every fucktard's like drinking a few times a night, smoking weed, eating fucking Skittles, getting fat and stupid. It's just a joke, dude.
Really? And they're huge. They're huge. So whatever he did with those arms is there still. You can see his back slightly as well in the background. It looks big. It looks wide. He looks really lean. Look at the separation in his chest, in his delts, in his shoulders. The legs also look pretty big right here. The abs are showing. Again, 62 years of age. He's also huge, guys. He's huge. I don't know what his weight is right now, but I'm guessing he's not below 240. I don't think he's below 240. I don't know if Milos ever was below 240, really. I don't think he's ever going to get below 240. And I don't think he ever will be. He loves to be huge. He loves to be ripped. And this is what he looks like right now. And it's phenomenal. It's great. He just loves bodybuilding. This guy loved bodybuilding since he was a kid and all this stuff. Here is a man that did bodybuilding their entire life and is on the beach.
Yep, testosterone's good for you. Very good for you. I did edibles. There's no reason to smoke or vape. Just stupid. Eh. Yeah, I was thinking of playing GTA 5. They have the remaster out with ray tracing. I still don't think that's a very good game. It's a poop game. I'm gonna go to bed now. I've been having sleep issues, and I'm gonna try to get my schedule switched around. But should do a workout stream tomorrow. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. And I will see you all tomorrow. So sweet dreams.